I just couldn't believe it.
I'm back in my zone now.
I love the energy of the crowd. Let's go!
'Cause I'm back in my zone now.
I'm gonna keep burying you into the ground as fast as I can and as deep as I can.
I enjoy when things get a little saucy.
Give me a freaking break!
Every match you play feels like it's the finals.
Fire. You want fire.
And that's what the fans want to see.
That's what intense tennis is.
Welcome everyone to the INTENNSE Arena in the heart of the Peach State, where inside these walls last week, history was made, a new competition era began, and the sport of tennis took a big step forward. Welcome to the INTENNSE League. Hello everyone, I'm J.Y. Albona, and I'll be your host for today, where this weekend, the new era of tennis continues to unfold, where we have men and women on the same team, on the same court, with timeouts, substitutions, and a shot clock that create an action-packed environment that'll keep you glued to your seat. And to kick things off at 2 p.m. today, the Challenge team will take on Tampa, where last week the Challenge team put the league on notice, letting them know that there are a bunch of hungry players out there ready to take their spots. Can they upset one of the full-time teams again? Then, tonight at 7 p.m., Jacksonville takes on the host Atlanta, where after a poor showing last week, Atlanta has their head coach back at the helm. Can he be the spark that team needs to get their first victory of the season? The problem for them will be on the other side of the court. It's going to be Sam Nicholson, who is the obvious MVP of the weekend. Can he maintain that elite style of tennis and become a superstar in this league?
Sam Nicholson and play for Jacksonville from Brighton in England, born in Bath. I got started because I had a lazy eye, my right eye, and the doctor said you need a ball coming at you. I used to wear the eye patch and everything to strengthen up the weak one. Fuel came early on, just enjoying running about, the feeling of exercise, and then later on is winning, is the joy, and I saw the opportunity you can get with college through tennis, and so I thought, like, that's a great opportunity, leave home, come to America, see what else I can do. For me, it's the first time here and playing for INTENNSE. I'm grateful I heard about it. Again, it's just tennis opening up doors. There's no, like, I have this chip on my shoulder. It's, you know, I'm lucky to play tennis and I'm just here to win, really.
Well, no eye patch will be here today with Sam Nicholson. We'll see how he performs tonight. But then to wrap things up tomorrow at 2 p.m., Tampa will take their shot against Atlanta, where we get to see will one of those three Tampa men finally shine bright and be the alpha that leads their team to victory tomorrow. But first, we'll see how everything unravels this weekend, and we're going to go down to our one and only Luke Jensen, who is on the court. Luke, hey man.
On yet. I'm turned on now. This is so cool. So I watched a lot of practices today. So it's very interesting how the teams have kind of evolved from last week, where they made the mistakes and where they're scoring points. A lot of doubles action, a lot of transition, and finishing with overheads and volleys. So it'll be very interesting how the teams get out to a quick start.
Yeah, you know, Luke, we got a bunch of new rules in this new era of tennis. We have substitutions, we have timeouts. Players can only have one serve and one toss, can't even hold the second ball in their pocket. You know, what are the most important rules that you noticed from last week had some of the biggest effects?
The bonus ball, right? You hit a winner, you get 2 points. So it's a little bit like how Steph Curry changed the world of basketball with the three-pointer. Now everybody does it. I think INTENNSE is going to rotate into the player that's taking a risk, the player that's going for more, the player that loves the winner. Because if you just stay in rallies, eventually at this level, they're going to hit winners. They're going to go for lines. And big play has big rewards. So to me, how the players come out hot early and buries the other side. The other thing, because of the scoring format and the various bolts, men's, women's, singles, doubles, and of course ending with mixed doubles, you're never out of it. So we saw a lot of teams get behind early, but climb back in there. So there's always a chance to get yourself back into the bolt, into the match, if you stay positive.
You talk about that scoring format, right? And the big leads we saw in the Jacksonville-Tampa match last weekend. Sam Nicholson led that team to a 40-point lead early. And for us, all of us, right, it's the first time we've seen something that is a 40-point lead. It sounds like insurmountable, but then as the match went on, little by little, Tampa was able to come back. How important do you think it is for players to get used to this and know, like, look, it might look like a big lead, but we still got a lot of tennis left?
That's where the coaching comes in, right? We've got elite coaches out here that are international, that are so skilled at keeping their team gelled into, keep chipping away. Don't worry about we lost the last bolt. Don't worry that we lost the last point. We can rotate out. If you're playing like a dog, I can throw somebody else in there. If you're playing a hot hand, you better be rotating things out pretty quickly. The other thing you notice, I think everybody's serves are getting better. You only have one, so you're a flamethrower. That's not going to help you. You got to be solid and then look for that +1. Throw in some S&V sometimes and watch that 14-second clock. So many players got burned because they're signing autographs. You got to play and get ready for the next point.
Yeah, you know, with that scoring format, you know, where if you win 1 point, it counts as 1 point. You hit a clean winner, it counts as 2 points. But it's total score at the end of the day wins. You know, we have two different things the players are playing for. They have their own gender category where, you know, that's where they determine their prize money. Then you also have the overall team score. And so fans, as they're paying attention to this, they got to understand those new rules, those new formats. You know, but the coaching part, Luke, coaches can now coach all the way through, nonstop, all the time. We saw a bunch of different coaching styles. We saw Yelena start off substituting left and right. Claudio left Sam in there a long time. You know, how do you think the coaches are going to manage this weekend?
I'll tell you, Coach Pistol, the Italian stallion, that dude knows how to get his team together. He was doing huddles early before the bolts were starting, getting him fired up. Everybody on that team in Jacksonville knows they have a role. They may not be on the court, but they're playing with their teammate that's competing. They're competing emotionally. They constantly won the emotional point. They won the emotional game, the battle that has to happen. To be honest, Atlanta was a dog last week. They lost to the challenger team. They lost the next one. They never really recovered. You better have competitors that want to make some noise. And remember, you can trash talk. You can talk during the opponent's serve. You can talk during the rally. Get after it. And if you win the energy battle, your team's going to be hanging in there.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see that Atlanta team at 7 p.m. tonight. So, Luke, thank you for joining us. We'll catch you back as the match starts, and we're going to take a look at a Week 1 recap right now.
This week is the first time we're in this INTENNSE Arena.
Super excited about it.
Everything's neon, everything's lighting up under the purple lights.
It's like a basketball arena.
You feel like you're playing for someone which way bigger than yourself?
First time stepping on the court is going to be crazy.
There's definitely going to be intensity and energy.
Let's go! Coming in as a challenger and beating Team Atlanta men was something that I wanted to do all day. Shutting some of these fans up has been the best thing for me.
Yes, I expected to beat Team Atlanta today.
They just did well, and they played the conditions better than us today.
It was an intense match.
Maybe it didn't go exactly as planned. Credit to Jacksonville.
Sam came out, started on fire.
Kudos to Sam. He started insane.
I just tried my hardest, and I got the win today.
Intense League, get there, get at it.
I was feeding off the crowd.
This is what, honestly, a lot of us tennis players and competitors live to play in.
That was the most fun tennis match I've ever played in my life.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you got to take a look at those highlights from last weekend. One of the biggest stories that we're going to find out today is the challenge team. We saw how pumped up they were last week. They came out fired away, and it did not look like that Atlanta team was ready for that kind of energy. You know, Tyler Stice, Emma Burdick being huge stars. You know, Tyler making his way through the qualifying, almost lost in the qualifying, was 1 point away as the clock was running out in the qualifying, hit a winner to get a +2 and put him into the final. Incredible story. Then some juniors moving through the qualifying, Naoto Tomizawa, Addie Rogan, Sadira Uyang to get on and on this challenge team roster and get this experience here, but then get to victory as well. That shell-shocked Atlanta. But as we look to today and we get the challenge team coming up, we get to see, are they going to have a repeat performance that definitely gave this team a big boost of energy, because now they know, like, hey, we can come in here, and if we come out hot with being fired up, you know, we can really cause a big upset. You know, Tampa should be the favorites. They are the full-time roster. They've been practicing in this type of format for a long time now. They've had some preseason matchups. They know how to handle this. It's a different type of fitness. We've been discussing this off air with other coaches and other players. We know that there is a different type of fitness, and the Tampa team has been practicing for this. We're going to see, can the challenge team come up with their goods and really get them going forward? So let's take a look at last week to see how they upset Atlanta.
I had a lot of freaking fun as to what just happened on that court.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Coming in as a challenger, beating Team Atlanta men was something that I wanted to do all day.
I expected to beat Team Atlanta today.
They just took it to us today.
This is what, honestly, a lot of us tennis players and competitors live to play in.
Tyler played really well. We're just playing smart, grinding us down.
I was feeding off the crowd.
She was obviously taking control, and she did really well.
Shutting some of these fans up has been the best thing for me, honestly.
I love that the fans are trash talking. You know, I want more of it.
I really performed the best in these situations.
I'm just excited that it's definitely going to be competitive. We lost, so it's obviously going to be competitive.
It's okay. We're fine. We'll be fine next week.
And here we have a look at the challenge team that will be facing Tampa today. It's a list of some big names there, some local ones as well. Robin Anderson, Delana Hewitt, Scarlett Nicholson, the Georgia Tech star. You know, Danny Muminovic lost in qualifying last week, almost lost in qualifying this week, redeemed himself, finally made that qualifying, and is now on that team. Elia Shakri, the other Georgia Tech local native here, also born in Marietta, Georgia. Actually, Maryland moved to Marietta, Georgia. He gets his shot here, and then it's going to be a very exciting finish for that team as they have Simon Pritchard, who has an incredible story as the KSU, Kennesaw State University associate head coach, was the player for them, #1 player, captain, you know, graduated, moved on, went into investment banking. And his whole goal there was to get his visa to be able to stay here. You know, Simon is an Englishman from Wales, made his way over to KSU, wanted to stay, got the job there, but couldn't get his visa. So then when he couldn't get his visa, he had to find a way to stay in this country. So he went back to KSU to get his MBA, and then to help pay for that, became the KSU associate head coach, or actually assistant coach to get started. That helped him pay for his MBA there. Then he fell in love with his coaching, continued playing some league events, and is now playing for the coach of the challenge team, Jesse Levine, who we have here now, and is going to try to have an upset victory. Jesse, how you doing,
guys? Looking forward to being out here and coaching this challenge team. We had a great warm-up to start. Had a really good pep talk with them. They seem pretty fired up. It's an amazing atmosphere out here at Intense, and looking forward to coaching this team.
Yeah, a lot of different stories. You know, Jesse, you were here watching qualifying. Simon Pritchard, an incredible story, you know, from not just the qualifying to making it on your team, but his story on how to stay in this country, get the visa, fell in love with coaching and playing, and that kept him here, and now you get to have him as one of your leaders.
Yeah, look, I'm looking forward to it. I watched him play a lot yesterday, and he looked extremely solid out there. Didn't let the nerves get to him at all. I think he's a really solid player, and he's obviously been around the team competition quite a bit, so it's really fun to see them in this team atmosphere, and we're all getting together here to really kind of come together as a group, even though we just met each other in the last 2 days. We'll see how close the camaraderie can be, and that's what makes this also so special. I think Simon's a really great guy to kind of lean on because he has so much experience and been in that college atmosphere a lot, so it's been really fun to see.
So Jesse, you're put into a tough spot. You come here, you're going to be the guest coach, but you're not entirely sure who's going to be on your team.
Yeah.
And then surprise, surprise, there's one player you do know, Robin Anderson.
Yeah.
How comforting was it to know that you had Robin on your team?
Well, that was great for me because obviously I've seen her play a lot and spent a lot of time with her at some WTA tournaments, so it's been really good to see. And obviously she's given me kind of a little bit of a rundown too because she's played in some of these before, so it's good to hear that. And she's very comfortable in this atmosphere with these rules as well. So it's definitely a big, huge advantage, and we'll see how she can do and fare in the competition today. But definitely going to lean on her as a leader today on this challenge team.
So Jesse, you've coached some of the best in the world at the biggest stages, Madison Keys, Jessica Pegula, but that was a different type of tennis. Here we have a bunch of different rules, right? Which one has been the one talked about the most amongst your team?
Amongst the team, I think it's the one toss. I think a lot of the players are a little bit nervy about that because not just the one serve, but the one toss. Once the ball's up in the air, you got to hit it. I think that's kind of been the one rule that everyone's kind of just chitter-chattering about, and really been able to kind of just talk to them about just be aggressive, stay big targets, go for your shots. But again, big attainable targets is the key because, look, the 2-pointers, and I've seen, like, we saw the other match the other day, a team was up by 40 points, and by the end of it, they only won by 8 points. So no lead is unattainable to come back from, but hopefully we don't fall behind too early. We can get a good start and start really positive out here today.
So yesterday we were out watching the individual trials, also watched the qualifying, but what's it like trying to prepare for 14 seconds in between points and an actual shot clock? Like, really got to be on point.
I think that's something that I'm really going to help the team with today and kind of run down with them on how much time they have left on their serve. I saw Coach Claudio doing that yesterday, and I feel like that was a really big help to his team. So I think that's something that I kind of told the team, hey, look, don't look at the serve clock. Just look at me. I'll tell you how much time is left, so they can just focus on taking their time and be ready for the shot and be ready for the point and start off in a solid position, right? You don't want to give them freebies right off the serve.
Any type of strategy behind how you're going to use the substitution rule?
You'll wait and see.
Come on, who's going to start things off? You got to give me that.
I got to go with Danny. He's on fire right now. He's feeling really confident. He's out there warming up, doing some body work. I told him be ready from the get-go. Wanted him to mentally be ready to start. I told Simon Elias that they're going to come in at some point in the men's singles. We'll see how Danny goes right off the bat. But he looked extremely impressive yesterday, and he won yesterday, right? Didn't lose, so it was really good to see. You got to go with the horse that's winning right now, right? Can't change up a winning routine. So we're going to start with him, see how he fares, and then we'll see if we call anybody from the bullpen.
Awesome. All right, Jesse. Well, thank you for your time. Good luck down there. We're going to see you tonight at 7 p.m.
Looking forward. Thanks, guys.
All right, now let's go take a look at the Tampa team who's going to try to hold off this challenge team. So, as we take a look at their lineup, we're going to see a lot of familiar faces from last week. We're going to see Nori Adam, the captain, Trey Mallory, Sam Frizzell, Alessandra Crump, Day Souza, but the one who's going to be jumping in this time, seeing her first action of the season, is going to be Kate Sharoburo. So we're going to see how that team plays out today, and let's take a deeper look at their captain, Nori Adam.
I'm Nuruddin Adam. I play for Team Tampa. One of my nicknames is Smiley. From Sudan originally. I have a big family. I have 4 sisters and 2 brothers. I'm very thankful for my parents because they did more than what they can just to make sure that we don't need anything. My history with tennis, it started with my grandfather who used to work as a caretaker at the tennis club. And back in the day, tennis is always for like the high class. My family comes from a lower class, so there was no chance of me being here. My dad grew up and started working there as well. Gave him like a small house in the tennis club. And then ended up being a coach. Like he learned playing tennis, he learned all the techniques. The moment you were born, you start walking, here's the racket, the court is literally 5 meters from the house. So like, it's crazy because I think about it almost every day. Just me being here, like, what if my dad just decided to do something else? I was number 8 in Africa, playing 14 and under, and I get the chance to play the Masters, where like the top 8, getting my first ATP point at the age of 16. That's when I was like, oh, like I can actually like play. The journey from Sudan to the U.S., I've seen a lot of friends went to college in the U.S., so I'm like, okay, if they can be on full scholarship, then I can be as well. I think my mom is mad at me up to this day about it. There was something that was telling me it's gonna happen, but how, where, when, no clue. Started emailing schools, was getting responses like, oh, we have 50% scholarship, we have 30% scholarships, we don't have scholarships. I won't lie, like there was some days I would have some breakdowns. Like at night I'll be thinking, I'm like, what are you actually doing? Deep down inside, I only had one thing, like I'm going to the US, like I don't care. I sent out an email to a coach at New Mexico Military Institute. The coach responds, he was, unfortunately, I had one scholarship and I gave this guy an offer. A couple days later, I was sitting in the club with my friends. We were sitting at the table, talking, having a good time, checking my phone. And then it says, like, congratulations, like the guy gave a scholarship, you know, didn't accept it, so I'm offering you a full scholarship. I remember I just got off the chair and started running home. You can see just like the vibe in the house just changed, flips, like around. Everybody's like so happy. The love of tennis, like, I don't even know what to tell you. Every time I step on the court, it's just my happy place. I'm excited to be a part of Intense because you don't always get the chance to be a part of something that's just starting new. So it's definitely an honor to be part of it.
Welcome back, everybody. What a great look at Norrie Adam, the captain of the Tampa team, nicknamed Smiles. He's definitely smiling right now as he's with his team getting ready. But coming up shortly, you know, we're going to have this Tampa team take on this match versus the challenge team. And there's a perfect time to bring in my partner for the day, Jonathan Stokey. Jonathan, welcome.
This is great.
Yeah, Jonathan, this is week 2 of us seeing all this come together. We saw the big upset versus the challenge team. What are you looking forward to today at 2 p.m.?
Yeah, so what I thought Irina Falconi, our fellow commentator, did a great job last week was using the timeouts and the substitutions effectively. And I thought the opposing team really didn't use their timeout. So I want to see how Jesse and the other coaches are going to use that today to break momentum, give their players a little bit of a rest, and then get that hot hand in. The other thing Luke mentioned is those 2-pointers, how valuable they are. I want to see if we get a little more action with people coming to the net so they can play offense while minimizing the risk of missing and giving away free points.
John, how do you balance that offense? Because we saw players do what they tried your method, but in 2 different ways, right? They tried the constructing the points and going for it, but then the other time was when they got down a bit and then they just started to play reckless, just absolutely going for it. And a lot of that's because of the shot clock, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit with the shot clock and a little bit of scoreboard pressure. When you're down by a big amount, you start seeing 2-pointers as a way to come back, but you're just going to end up dying a death of 1,000 paper cuts. And in this case, those paper cuts are ground strokes in the net and ground strokes wide. So what I would love to see is anything that's short, you can approach through the middle. You can reduce the angles that the passing shot player has. So you're not worried about them hitting a clean passing shot winner. And look, when you're at the net, good things happen. You can shank drop volley winners. You can hit some good offensive balls. So I'd like to see more approaches through the middle and more net play in general.
You know, one of the things that's so important in this league is the team dynamic format. Not just with substitutions, but the fact that they're all right there on the sideline. And we saw 2 differences in energies on the sideline. Talk to us about how important even just being on the bench is for these players.
Look, this environment and this style of play and the rules, it dictates that you must have energy. So last week, one team met the moment and the other team didn't. And that was a big, big difference. So when the men are playing, I would highly recommend that the women are on their feet, bringing noise, bringing energy. Same thing, when the women step up, the men have to be that player. Anyone on the bench, they've got to be supplying that energy to the player. And then obviously the coach has to match that. But whatever team can embrace the format and embrace that energy the most has an advantage right off the bat.
Yeah, another thing we talked about a lot was players not taking advantage of the warm-up behind them. They have the court space behind the benches. They have a bike there, but because this is new for them as well, we didn't see them being very, very warm going into the court. They were just kind of standing there waiting to be substituted in, and the warm-up was pretty minimal. Will we see more of a warm-up action, or are these players, they just want to be ready to get in fast?
That comes down to coaching, but like you said, I mean, we saw people coming in cold. They weren't ready for the pace of the ball. They were making a few errors right away. I would highly recommend whoever the next person is on the substitution order, that they're bouncing around, they're taking a couple of practice swings, and again, they're fully engaged in tracking the ball to do the best job that they can of going out there and feeling like they're already in the mix. You don't want to waste 2 or 3 free points getting into the match.
All right, well, Jonathan, we're going to see you back here in a few minutes once we get the match started. And right now, we're going to go take a look at one of our friends, Chip Rowley.
How's the dew? Oh, yeah.
Chip Rowley, professional hotshot.
He told me he has 8 timeshares.
He walked in here looking for a snorkel.
Do you guys have a sauna over at Windy Hills?
He asked me what kind of ginger I am. Irish red or Viking?
Well done, Ginge Ninja. Attaboy.
I mean, he's always in a good mood.
This is fun. You guys are a hoot. Oh, yeah. Tennis, baby. Yeah.
Hey, Ma. Ma, are we Irish red or Viking red?
Let's go.
I don't really know what he does, but he says that he takes his 12%.
He says he takes his, 7%. He takes his 9%.
Takes his 4%.
Chip Rowley. Nice to meet you. Chip Rowley.
Sorry?
Chip Rowley.
Chip Rowley.
Chip Rowley.
I know. You're the best.
Chip Rowley loves Intense.
It's tennis, baby. If it's got green fuzz on it, I'm there. Chip Rowley in the making.
Chip Rowley, coming at you.
Shunk. Name's Chip Rowley. My background? I'm Polish. Woo! Enthusiasm. I'm bringing it to tennis. I love tennis. Do you guys have strawberries and cream?
Strawberries and cream?
I'm used to the Queen's tennis, strawberries and cream, grass. Shh, quiet, please. That can go out the door as far as I'm concerned. This environment, I would call it intense. Am I allowed to say that? Shank you very much. Oh, flicks the topspin volley. Oh. You don't have time to think out here. Put your brain in the fridge and get out there and just use the body. I think too much. I always think about how my dad never calls me back. One day I wish, Dad, if you're out there, I still love you. Give old Chippy a call. I'm sorry, is my prestige blocking your view? The fans have been friendly.
Yeah, I see my new best friend.
That's a fun filter. Pardon me, I can't hear you over the tennis. Whoa. Oh, my golly. Remember, it's not about the wins and the losses. It's about the friends you make along the way. Thank you. I'm Chip Rowley.
All right, everybody. That is our friend Chip Rowley right there. One of the best personalities in all our sports, getting heavily involved here with Intense and in the Intense Arena last week. Had a blast having him. We'll see if some of these little allegations from Monaco get cleared and we get to see him come back a little bit more. But we certainly loved him last week, and we're certainly going to love what's coming up right now in a few minutes. Challenge Team versus Tampa. Let's go.
loudness and the energy, I just couldn't believe it.
I love the energy of the crowd.
Let's go!
I'm gonna keep burying you in the ground as fast as I can and as deep as I can.
I enjoy when things get a little saucy.
Give me a freaking break!
Every match you play feels like it's the finals.
Fire. You want fire.
And that's what the fans want to see.
That's what intense tennis is.
Welcome everyone to the INTENNSE Arena in the heart of the Peach State, where last week inside these walls, history was made, a new competition era began, and the sport of tennis took a big step forward. Welcome to the INTENNSE League. Hello everyone, I'm JY Obone, where today, coming up at 2 p.m., we're gonna have Tampa taking on the challenge team, and I have my partner, Jonathan Stokey, alongside me. Jonathan, welcome.
Hey man, can't believe you guys let me back for week 2, but I'm super excited.
We are as well, but more important than anything, this is a new era of tennis with new rules, so let's get into those new rules that fans are gonna need to know as they follow today's action.
I'm excited to be part of Intense.
It's a lot of fun looking out and seeing everyone cheering, going crazy.
I love it. I love every part of it.
You know I don't play right. You know I don't play right. You know I don't. You know I don't. You know I don't play.
I enjoy when things get a little saucy.
You know I don't play. You know I don't play.
Playing with your team, and it's also just a fast-paced game.
I'll put up a good fight. You know I don't play.
Playing for a crowd that's allowed to scream during points gets me wild on the court, which is also when I have most fun.
I'm excited to be part of Intense because something that's just starting new.
Just one of these days, you're gonna get paid. Better watch your back. It's gonna get personal. It's gonna get personal.
All right, new era of tennis, new rules. Stokey, this is where we get to see fans finally get involved in the middle of the match as they can finally scream and shout and just be really involved.
Yeah, we saw that a lot last week. There's a lot of talking, especially in the middle of a serve. If players can't handle that, it's going to be a long day for them.
It's going to be a long day, but it's going to be very fast, that's for sure, with all these new rules. One serve, one toss, 14 seconds in between points. True server's pace, right? That true server's pace, the servers can serve whenever they want. They don't have to wait for the returners. And so that's where we get a lot of fast-paced action, sometimes too fast for the players. We'll see how that goes. We definitely won't be seeing any towel breaks because things are just going to be moving too fast. Coaching is allowed at any point in time, and thanks to our friends over at Bolt 6, we're going to have a lot of, actually, only electronic line calling for today's action. So no questions from the players. You take the call, you got to move on, you got to play. All right, well, here we're going to have the Tampa team. That is coming up right now, led by Yelena Labat.
First up is Team Tampa, led by Coach Yelena Labat.
All right, there's Yelena Labat.
Next up with the squad is Trey Mallory. Next up is Sam Frizzell.
Trey Mallory, Sam Frizzell.
Next up is Nori Adam.
There's the captain.
Next up is Kate Cherbior.
I just wish I knew why they called him Smiley.
Next
We'll
up,
find out.
it's Adesua Oseboy.
De Souza.
And last but certainly not least for the Tampa squad is Alessandra Crump. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Team Tampa.
Alessandra Crump. And now let's go take a look at the challenge team led by Jesse Levine.
Next up, fans, it's time for our special challenge squad, led by Coach Jesse Levine.
Jesse Levine doing the gator challenge. He knows I don't
First
like
up from the
that
squad
one
is
there.
Daniel
Oh man, I'm
Ridovinovic.
going to get him back for that one tomorrow. There he has Danny Muminovic, former UTSA
Next up is
player.
Elias Shakiri.
Elias Shakiri, Georgia Tech.
Next up
senior.
on the squad is Simon Pritchard.
Simon Pritchard, we talked about
Next up
him
is
before the
Robert
show.
Anderson.
KSU associate head coach and former captain.
Next
as
up
a
is
player.
Scarlett Nicholson.
Robin Anderson.
And last but certainly not least is Delana
Scarlett
Hewitt.
Nicholson, not
Make some
Johansson.
noise, Intense for our
And
challenge
Delana Hewitt, all
squad.
chill and calm. She is ready to go. Jesse, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm so ready. These players got me amped up, man. You have no idea. I feel like I want to grab my racket and go play out there.
Just don't ever do that gator chomp again.
I did that just for you. Please tell me you got that on camera.
Yeah.
We're going to run that in replay later.
Yeah, I threw up on the side.
I told my team, I said, this is going right for John Eves. Danny started. Let's go, bud.
Yelena, you ready to go there?
Yes, we're ready to go.
All right, well, last week was last week. This week, who's going to lead you off right now?
We won't prepare. We're ready to play. No, it's more focused. Let's see how it starts right now.
All right, well, the music's
Mine
going.
is going to do the good job.
Yeah, well, we're going to see how things go. Good luck to you today.
Thank you.
We'll take it down to the coin toss where Sebastian Nunez has
Just as a
Nori and
reminder,
Danny.
play through everything. Unless you hear the whistle, I'll stop the clock. I'll explain what happened. So I'm mic'd up today. If there's something, I'll explain any ruling. All right? Challengers, call it heads or tails. Heads is the call. It's heads. Serve or receive. Challengers to serve. Good match, guys.
All right, here we go. The lights are on. The players are ready. Danny Muminovic on the far side for the challenge team. Nori Adam on the near side for Tampa. And we talked about those serves, right? I believe it's Jesse, the one who mentioned it, and we see a fault to get started. Players only have one serve and one toss per point. A little bit of a nervous start from Danny, who last week did not make it through the qualifying, was 1 second away actually from qualifying and is heartbroken. Now gets his first action, but a tough spot against Nori Adam, the captain from Sudan who waited multiple years in Sudan for a scholarship to the United States. And he was being pressured by a lot of people, especially from his parents, Jonathan, to take whatever he could in Sudan, just get into college and maybe give up on his dreams in the United States. But patience paid off.
I'm so glad he stuck with it too. He's a really fun player to watch, super athletic, and an absolute bazooka for a four.
Could you see, he was running up to that? He was smiling running up to that drop shot.
Hey, you know, one of the best things you can do if you want to play good tennis is just be yourself during competition. And he looks as comfortable as anyone I've ever watched. It looks like he's just enjoying himself, totally in the moment, which is great.
Except a little bit last week, right? He started off enjoying himself, but when his team got down big, that was a tough one against Sam Nicholson. A lot of that was just some good tennis from Sam. So then the frustration came in, but today he's off to a better start. You know, 8 minutes left here in this first of 3 10-minute bolts, so we're gonna get the men's singles for 30 minutes, women's singles for 30 minutes, and then all 3 doubles formats for 30 minutes as well. And if you haven't caught on yet, if you win 1 point, it counts as 1 point. We haven't seen any clean winners, but when we do, we are going to get a +2. And that is going to be our first +2 of the day. Great use of the net. I used to practice that at Florida State. Did you guys over at Duke, Jonathan?
We did, because volleys are legal, and obviously it's the best way to get a 2-pointer. Danny was struggling there. He had a bunch of single faults. He had a couple of missed returns, and that was a big momentum breaker there. I was actually going to suggest if he didn't hit that volley winner, I almost wanted Jesse to call an early timeout and just settle the nerves.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about the fact that I was talking about if you practice hitting it the net and, you know, making it dribble over. But we'll take your volley perspective. So that's right. Looks like that timeout didn't have to happen. You know, it's now back to a 6-5 lead for Tampa, only 1 point deficit. So much tennis left to play. Norrie's going to try to find his forehand as much as possible. And there he is hitting it backhand, but he's going to search for his forehand. So he tries to hit that backhand and scoot left right away. Sometimes he gets caught, but once he finds that forehand, he can absolutely demolish the ball.
Yeah, and you're going to see there's going to be runs. The format is so fast, you can't take your time. You can't slow the rhythm down. So when players are struggling, we've already seen a few little runs where it's kind of 5-1 one way and 5-1 the other way. We got to make sure, oh, there's a nice two-pointer right there. We got to make sure we're reducing errors and being simple. Yes, it's important to take points and take two-pointers, but you also can't give away so many free ones.
Yeah, that was a Stokey-style winner there with the volley. Big forehand again. So if you notice, after a clean winner, it's not only +2, but you go back and serve on the same side you just played that point.
And I really like what Norrie's doing with his serve. He's just spinning it in, and he realizes Danny's not really attacking it. So, yes, he's not getting anything out of it, but he's also not giving away the free point. I would have preferred not a forehand in the middle of the net, but I like his serving strategy to start this full.
Yeah, Norrie looks a lot calmer than last week. That was a big weekend for everybody. Season opener, historic league opener, first time for everybody doing all this on a big stage. And we wondered, you know, what was week 2 going to look like? And you can see that Norrie's more settled in. You know, Danny looks very calm. That's why Jesse wanted to play him, talking to him as he was getting ready. Watching him in the qualifying, he started off all his matches just very calm, being happy to put balls in play, never rushed. So, you know, and he's doing that. Other than the first point, he's been putting a lot of balls in play, but we'll see, because sometimes, Stokey, you put a few too many balls in play for these big power players, and that means they can find their rhythm and just really move forward. So we'll see how Jesse's going to handle this with Danny.
Yeah, you can see early on, Norrie, you know, he's kind of forcing the action with the forehand. He had that nice drop shot about 2 points ago. But again, the big thing here is if you're in a little bit of a rough patch, if you're starting to struggle, big targets through the middle, you can still go after it with plenty of pace. Like, that's perfect right there from Norrie. Look at that. Big through the middle, forces a wide mistake, and gets his serve back. I'd love to see a little bit more of that from both players.
12-9 for Norrie Adam. Team Tampa on the near side. Danny Muminovic on the far side. Even though he missed that forehand, that looked comfortable. You know, coaches can tell when you can sense a player is nervous and when they're calm. And I know he missed that forehand, but he looks very within himself, looks calm. Ball center on the strings a lot. Yeah, look at that calm play right there. Definitely a big change from last week already.
Yeah, it looks more comfortable. And one thing I'm always looking for is what are the percentages of mistakes in the net, like that backhand right there, versus deep by 6 inches. You know, when someone's missing a little bit deep, that's not a problem. But when they're banging balls in the net or wide, that's where it's red alert, and we might be looking at a substitution.
Great defensive use of the slice to get him back in play.
Love this court level. Oh,
beautiful
boy.
Shot there by Norrie. Angle, slice, dropper. What a combo.
Now look, they're both breathing heavy here.
This is what happens with this sprint format.
Sub.
Yes, we got our first sub, Simon Pritchard, the KSU alum, captain, associate head coach, the Mr. Owl himself on the far side, getting his first action.
Oh, boy.
Luke, what are you sensing down there?
Well, number one, Stokey lost the push-up contest last week. He didn't shave his head, okay? And number one, number two doesn't cut it. I need to see skin. Second of all, matchup make fights, right? So you see what Norrie's doing out here, setting up the point so much better this week than last week. He's got that forehand that is just a point killer. He can go down the line, cross court. We've seen some short angles. And then he's got that drop shot dragon. I love his balance of attack this week.
Is there a calmer sense from the players down there? It feels like it over here. Last week, so amped up that Norrie looks very calm over there.
He understands his role on there is not to get that big deficit that he basically buried his team last week. This week, he is playing the score, not going for big serves, starting the points, and waiting for that fear hand to do the damage.
There is that fear hand right there, but good defense by Simon.
Salmon with the man bun. Anytime you bring man bun, there's going to be a bonus situation somewhere. I can't wait to talk to him about his hair care products. Is it gel? Is it mousse? I don't know. I got to find out.
Well, we look forward to that conversation later. Thanks, Luke.
Rock and roll. Stokey your mind, buddy. Mine!
Yeah, I don't know if I can go with the Luke totally bald head there. But if I lose the push-up contest one more time, you don't know how I'm going to show up next week for that guest coaching appearance.
All right, 21-14. Nori Adam on the near side, still in it for Tampa. A little bit of a fast play there. Nori was not ready, but then just went for it. Just a little too fast. Good play by Simon. Let's see if Simon can settle in a little bit here. Oh, drop shot, Dragon.
That's already 3 of those. He's got the feel working today. He looks very comfortable. He's taken that early. That is absolutely gorgeous.
And that's a big tell when a player's calm enough to be able to hit a drop shot. When players are just so locked in and nervous, they feel like they just have to hit the crap out of every ball. And with Nori's mixing it all in, he's already seen the slice, the volley on the tweener. Ooh, no, but he did hit somebody on the challenge team to let him know I lost that point, but I'm still sending you a message.
It kind of looked like he was aiming a little bit at Jesse there, trying to avoid the 2-pointer and probably sending the message to the opposing coach. And Jesse dropped that ball, by the way.
Well, you know, I'm not surprised he's a Gator that he dropped it. And Nori Adam, the FAMU alumni, so trying to help me send a message. We were buddies down there in Tallahassee, only a couple miles apart. Florida State and FAMU are. So I think he saw that Gator chomp and he said, I'm not going to let Jesse do that to JY. 10-point lead for Tampa, 26-16, coming up on our last minute.
Good job. I just feel you were a little tired at the end.
Yeah, there we go, Trey.
Let's go.
We see Trey Mallory getting his first action of the day, getting Nori Adam a little bit of a break. Nori, great start, giving them a 10-point lead. Now Trey Mallory from UNC Wilmington getting his first action. Nice serve there to get things started. 30 seconds left as Simon Pritchard still remains in on the far side.
And I really like this substitution from Elena. You see it sometimes like in an NBA game where they take them out in the last minute of a quarter and then they get time moving forward and a little extra break.
Because those balls, like he's sitting here and then you have such an easy ball that after you can open the court. But if you have like those balls here down or like such a inside out forehand, don't go for winner on that, right?
Like I start good,
yeah.
And then I end up like
And that will do it. That is the first of our 3 10-minute bolts. Tampa off to a much better start versus last week, led mostly by Nori Adam. Trey scooping in, getting a couple points of his own at the air. Jonathan Stokey, let's take a look at those highlights while you share your thoughts on those first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I thought Nori just played a phenomenal bowl. First of all, we got the Gator chomp from Jesse, which is disgusting. But I thought Nori played a fantastic bowl. He had 3 or 4 drop shot winners. He really got that forehand cooking early. And I really think he just looked very, very comfortable and was playing attacking tennis. Look at that feel right there. And again, like you mentioned, when someone is comfortable, their hands are a little softer, and all options are available. That's a disgusting drop shot. But really, I thought he just played well. I didn't think the challenge team really lost. I thought Nori won that bowl.
Yeah, and now let's send it down to Luke, who has Nori himself.
The Sudan Superman, outstanding. What was the difference this week from last week?
I had to change the way I started. Last time I was rushing, going too fast, going too big, too early. But now I had to find my rhythm. Like I'm not missing. I'm gonna start a little slow. You know, make a lot of balls, be more solid, and then it worked. You know, they started making a couple mistakes, giving 3 points. And then we take it, yeah. And then the teammates also supporting from the side, you know, just knowing what happened last weekend. But like we got to bounce back. So like we have like more hunger than last weekend. So is everybody else, and it's been working so far. We hope it keeps going.
Well, what about that ankle breaker? You got that drop shot dragging down. They got to respect your power, and then the drop shot comes. Are we going to see more of that in the next bowl?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, the key to drop shot is having big forehand, having a big serve. So the moment you set up for a big forehand, they take 2 steps back, and then you just trick them with that drop shot. You know, so it's learning from Alcaraz, Bublik, all the big players. So it's great.
Go hit winners. Next bolt. The next bolt's coming up right here. Intense is awesome.
And here's that drop shot that's coming up right now. He sets up for that big forehand. You see Simon take a couple steps back, and he sees that opening. What a drop shot. We'll see if Nori gets some action again for the men's. Right now, Trey Mallory has started this second bolt off right now for Tampa, and he'll look to build on their momentum as we start our second of 3 10-minute bolts here. And we see Elias Shakri on the far side. Georgia Tech senior, he's getting his first action for today.
Look at that beautiful one-hand backhand.
Don't see many of those today.
Yeah, it's a dying breed, but honestly, they're one of the most beautiful strokes in tennis. It's just not taught as much anymore.
That wasn't beautiful.
That, no. That's where I start going, hey, I know I'm not there in person. How high is that ceiling? Because that looked like it went right into the rafters.
Oh yeah, it went over him and then actually came back through a small hole. Fortunately, he came right back in play. They got the ball back, and hopefully Elias can find his forehand a little bit more. And there we see a couple more comfortable forehands. Big round of applause for his teammates there on the sideline. They're all standing, they're excited. You know, they're gonna try to get back into this match a little bit more. There we see that one serve rule. So Elias misses that first serve, and that's it. You lose the point, you move on.
So what I'd love to see challenge team, we're at 11 points right here, and it's right on the edge, but Nori is out, and obviously he's the big offensive player. I want to see them lock it down. No mistakes. They don't have to go get 2-pointers. There's another freebie. If they don't give away points here, I think they can stay in this bolt, stay in the overall men's match. But right now, just a few too many freebies, and there's not really as much of a threat on the other side right now.
And this is where we get to see how the challenge team handles this, right? It's one thing to come through qualifying and all that, but fans really aren't there. You know, it's just a different dynamic. Now the whole team is there, the lights are on, it's being broadcasted on Twitch. Shout out to everybody watching us right there. Make sure you send us some messages in the chat room. We are watching that, but it's a whole different ball game once you get into this official team format. We'll see how they can handle the nerves.
Right, and last week I thought something that was interesting was both teams were new to it. It was the first match for both of them. This one, Tampa already has a match going, and they're a little more comfortable, whereas the challenge team is brand new.
Great slice. What a calm forehand from Trey. Yelena, I thought, did a great job last week trying to manage the match, Jonathan, with good timeouts, good substitutions. You know, when we heard her on the mic, she was coaching well. Just Sam Nicholson was very good, but now just another good coaching move. You can see how she has her players a lot calmer this time right now. It was kind of a half a smile from Trey there. So he even looks relaxed after losing the point. So definitely a great job preparing her team for today. 39-23 Tampa on the near side, challenge team on the far side. Big kick over there to Shakri from the challenge team.
Hey, and JY, my promise to you, when I'm guest coaching here in 2 weeks, I'm not taking my timeouts with me. I think Jesse's got to put the hands together, call a quick timeout. This is slowly getting out of hand. We got to stop the bleeding here. You want to stay close because the scoreboard pressure is real. And once you get in a hole, like you said, people start to overplay, which can lead to more mistakes.
Well, there you see, it's one thing to miss a serve. We saw that earlier with Nori, right? He missed a forehand, but you could tell it was calm, just barely missed it. I know we hate to say this as like players and stuff, but you know, the whole good miss kind of thing, that's a coach thing, but it's real. You can tell when a player's in a good rhythm, even if they miss. Elias has missed some serves by a mile, so I don't know if he's feeling comfortable right now.
Right. I mean, if I see Steph Curry rim out a three-pointer, that's okay. If he airballs it by 5 feet, he might need to go on the bench for a glass of water. And right now, he doesn't look very comfortable in that serve. But again, 17 points, this is kind of that threshold. You don't want to get a bigger hold of this.
Well, and he did say he loved his Babolat racket, and he's definitely using that frame a lot more. Let's see if we can use some of those strings a little bit more.
Yeah, the Babolat strings as well. That's a beautiful kick serve. And a disgusting forehand.
So I'm taking you out in a minute. Go hard. Yes, keep it going. I like it. Keep accelerating. Accelerate on the serve. Okay, next point you lose, you come out, so go hard, okay? Get your racket, next one he loses. Maybe not on the far side, though. It's like hockey, you don't want to change on the blue line. Yeah, okay. Get ready. Go, Danny, go, Danny, go, Danny. Go, Danny. Go. There you go, Danny.
Jesse, it looks like you got Elias out. You got Danny back in there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to give them like 5-6 minute rotations. I can see some of the guys get gassed pretty soon, and these guys have all played in this atmosphere before, so I don't want to get them gassed. There's still a lot of tennis to play. I know it's harder as far as like rhythm-wise goes, but I'd rather them be fresh. It's a long match.
How tough is it to manage those substitutions, especially Elias had a couple miss hits to get things started, but you kept him in there.
I mean, it's a little bit tough because you want guys to get in rhythm and you don't want them to get cold or anything like that. But again, I think kind of rotating them in and out in 5-6 minutes will be beneficial in the long run. Maybe not right at the beginning because they can get maybe out of rhythm a little bit, and the guys on the other team right now are kind of more in sync because they're playing for 10-minute bolts, right? So I'm trying to go a little different strategy here, and hopefully it benefits in the long run. But, you know, we're down 17 right now, but there's a lot of tennis to be played.
All right, thanks, Jesse. Definitely the longest rally of the day. Players are starting to get settled in. 3 minutes left in the second of 3 10-minute bolts. So men's singles for 30 minutes, women's singles for 30 minutes coming up after this, and then we'll finish off with all 3 doubles formats. And we play bolts of 10 minutes. And Trey looking to have a little conversation there with Yelena about a potential substitution. Sam swinging. It's pretty hard over there. It looks like he's going to be coming in next.
But you can see players settling in. These last 3 points, I've kind of liked the big cuts to big parts of the court. Players are getting a little bit more in the rhythm of the match. They're making smarter decisions. I absolutely love the way this is starting to shape out now. Danny coming in and doing a great job the second time through.
Yeah, great rhythm now. You see some very good rallies from both players. And Danny's starting to accelerate. Fans are getting into it in the middle of the rally. Our fans are allowed to scream and shout whenever they want and support their team to the max. So they even distracted me right there. I thought that was an out call, and I was like, no way, that ball was way inside. But these fans are a part of it, and this is what makes this environment so fun for fans that are in person.
You know what's funny, what always worked in our college matches is when fans called us by name. So I hear a lot of fans screaming there right before the shot, which is a little bit distracting. But if someone would say, hey, Stokey, your shoe's untied, or hey, Stokey, what color shirt is that? It totally distracted me and threw me off. So I actually wouldn't mind seeing the fans use the first names a little more. That's way more effective.
Yeah, you want to know what also works, Stokey? Start talking about my family. Been in
yeah, there you go.
I had some environments where they started talking about, you know, some siblings and stuff, and you mean as an athlete, I am not going to encourage that here. That was mean.
Yeah. As long as you leave my little dog Lulu out of it, I'm okay.
Yeah, leave the dog out
Everyone
of it.
else
Like
is
that.
very good.
Yeah, leave the dog out of it.
So we've settled in here. This is kind of that 15, 16, 17. We've kind of been here for 4 or 5 minutes. We've got 90 seconds left. I'd love to see challenge teams see if they can get this down to 12, maybe 11 here in the last minute.
Yeah, so Sam Frizzell getting his first action of the day, and Danny trying to hit the fence on the fly. There's no bonus points for that one, buddy, but we'll see if Sam, with his first action, does he get off to a nervy start? All 3 players for the challenge team have had some actions, so they're settled in. We'll see how Sam handles his first action. Simon Pritchard in now for Danny Muminovic. Mr. Owl on the far side coming in for these last 50 seconds. The screens turn yellow.
And we were mentioning the drop shot from Nori, and you see another good drop shot there. Once you move up quickly to the short ball, your opponent is always going to take a step back, and that's why the drop shot is so effective. And I think on the near side, Tampa is doing such a good job at taking the ball early that they have the option to rip it and use that drop shot.
Sam just missed that +2. Going for that backhand down the line. If you do hit a clean winner, it is +2. It's been a minute since we've seen one. You know, we've seen some more settled in tennis. Haven't seen as much risk-taking.
Taking his time here. I like that with the bolt running low.
Simon loves to get inside the baseline, be very aggressive. When you have one serve only, generally you're going to go a little safer, and returners love to take advantage of it and play aggressive on it. Last point here of this second bolt. Big extra point to finish off for his team, and they're fired up right there. Sneak one back in. Tampa still up 53-37, but Jonathan, things really settled in right there.
Yeah, you saw people hitting the kind of bigger targets on the court. Elias came in. He definitely struggled with that serve a little bit early on, which kind of created a hole. That was a little bit of an issue, but Jesse subbed him out. But again, you started seeing bigger cuts to bigger targets, which is a great way to play in general. I thought Team Tampa had a great bolt serving. There weren't any serving pairs. And when you're not giving away points, you give your opponent to do exactly that, which is what we saw from the challenge team.
Yeah, great settled in there. We see Trey Mallory right here trying to find his forehand early in the match, who's now down with Luke himself. Luke, you got Mr. Bermuda.
Mr. Bermuda, number 5. Really good composure out there in this bolt. What was the difference? Because you extended the lead for your team.
Really just playing my game and freeing up and just going for it. I know it's definitely louder this week than last week, so you just got to like block it out and just let the racket do the talking sometimes.
What's the difference with your team from last week to this week? The huddle seems to be more coordinated, more cohesive.
I think we're just more ready, I think, than last week. I think we have more of a rhythm. And yeah, I think that's helping. You know, all of us are playing better than last week, so hopefully we keep it up.
You're in the next bolt, buddy. Go get them. Next bolt, bolt number 3 in men's singles, coming up.
All right,
Thank you.
there's Mr. Bermuda himself. #1 player out of Bermuda there, getting some more action there. We'll see how Yelena decides to start this one off. Is it going to be Nori, or is she going to keep Sam in there? Because Nori was off to a very good start, but now you got to get some players on that team that were on the bench some action there, and we see these players are coming back out. Sam is coming back out for his team, Simon as well, so they're going to keep things going. 53-37, this is going to be the final bolt for this men's singles portion of the match. Simon Pritchard, Mr. Owl on the far side, went from being an investment banker, trying to get his visa to stay in the United States, Jonathan, but then he had to go back, get back to college to get his student visa, got his MBA, and while there, fell in love with coaching because he was trying to help the KSU tennis team there to help pay off his degree, and said, not going back to banking. Had to call his employer, said, I'm not going back, and now he's here playing in the Intense League.
That's shocking that he found tennis more enjoyable and coaching tennis than investment banking. That's a shocker for me.
I know. Who doesn't love just sitting there for 14 hours a day, just going through 700,000 documents?
Yeah, I love spreadsheets. Those are fun.
I do love spreadsheets. All seriousness, spreadsheets are the best because I miss all the small details. So when you put in the formula the right way, it just makes everything just perfect. You know, 1 + 1, always have to make sure it's 2. Excel always gets it right.
Well, you know what? I need the challenge team to use that math a little more. They're down 14. And it's interesting, right? Because they're going to have some 2-pointers if they want to win this men's bolt. But if they chase the 2s, they could dig a bigger hole for the entire match. So, ooh, there's a 2-pointer right there. I'd like to see him do it with speed in between points without taking unnecessary risks. But we got it down to 12 now, so we might need a little substitution here.
So there we see a +2 for Simon. So you hit a +2, it's a clean winner. You go back and you serve on the same side, and then adds to that with an unforced error returned by Sam, 55-44. Simon on the far side for the challenge team, seeing if they can create another upset. Challenge team had a big upset last week over Atlanta, and now they're going to try to do it again today. 8 minutes left. Sam Purcell serving on the near side.
JY, I wonder, do you think you're going to see players get rid of the ball bounce as part of the routine? Because I've seen a couple times challenge teams been up there ready to serve quickly, but then they get into the routine where they're bouncing 1, 2, 3 times, like right here, and you give the returner time to settle. I wonder if they'll get used to serving without a bounce so they can get the ball in a little quicker.
I think for all of us, we're learning in this new format, new league, what is going to be the new routine in between points. How are players going to stay calm? We saw a lot of players try to take advantage of the server's pace rule where they can serve whenever, try to catch a player off guard, but they almost go too fast. So I think players, that ball bounce right before the serve still helps calm them just a little bit and slow them down. So we'll see what they decide to do. We're all learning. We're going to see what's best. And so far, these players want to keep that ball bouncing before the serve. Ooh, just missed it. Good hit, though. Even
Yeah, that's the
Jesse
type of error you can live with as a coach. You know, taking a big cut up in the court.
Yeah, I looked over and I saw Jesse breathing a huge sigh of relief. They don't want any +2s going against them right now. 10-point lead. Ooh, tried to touch it. Let's see if let's see if Trey's gonna go for the fast rule. For the fast serve. He's going so fast I can't even speak. He does get it. +2. Goes back again. Oh no, he served on the wrong side. This is what we've talked about a lot, Jonathan. They serve so fast to try to take advantage of the rule. They messed themselves up.
Yep, that's a tricky one. And honestly, week 2, I was already ready for that. But the pace is so fast, I forgot what side he had just served on. But I was wondering if that would happen, and it certainly did.
Everybody's messing up here. If they just look up at the clock, the scoreboard does tell them where they need to serve. So let's see, we've got a timeout here. Jesse, first timeout of the match to get things organized here. Let's see how he's gonna handle this timeout.
You want me to put Ellis in?
It's up to you guys.
Yeah, how you feeling physically, okay?
I can do another minute.
Okay.
Minute 15.
Well, now you got a second. You got a second. You got 40 seconds. Catch your breath. Catch your breath. Get warmed up, because I'm going to put you in probably towards the end of this bowl to finish strong.
Would you rather start now or go in after?
Go, get warmed up. Get warmed up. I'm going to put you in for the first minute.
Yeah.
Because you're still warm. Yeah. You still got 20 seconds. You still have 20 seconds. Yeah. Hey, don't be afraid to throw the slice to his backhand. The forehand, he handles it no problem. The forehand, he's got good whip. I like going to the forehand first to open up the backhand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, give him some pace there and then go to the other side. Huh? Oh, yeah, okay. Are you ready? Get ready. He wants you. You go, feeling good. Get back ready. Go in there. Yeah. Warm up. I'll put you for dubs.
We're back from the timeout. 6 minutes left in the entire men's singles portion of this match. And there you hear the coaching from Jesse Levine, the coach for the challenge team, managing Simon's time there, keeping him in there. Looks like he's going to be in here at least another minute, and then we might get some Danny Muminovic.
Yeah, Simon's playing well, but you can hear him on that changeover, that timeout right there. I mean, he's sucking wind. He's tired. You see 2 quick errors. I like the way he's playing, but I fear that he's a little out of gas right now.
Yeah, the fitness for this type of tennis is very different. It's like a very long sprint, whereas in traditional tennis, you have a lot more time to recover in between points. So these players are still getting used to it. You can practice it all you want, but until you get the nerves in there, it's still very different. Great volley there by Mr. Owl. 62-49, Tampa with the lead. Trey Mallory in for Tampa on the near side. You know, players only get 14 seconds in between points. Trey trying to rush him a little bit. And kind of handed him that +2 right there.
Hey, we already solved the problem. We got that serve to the right side after the winner right there.
There you see Simon went a little bit too fast, messed himself up trying to get the fast-paced serve in. You know, Sebastian's got to get these players organized a little bit. 63-51. So when the score adds up to an even number, you do play on the due side. If you add the score up and it's an odd number, they will play on the add side. So Sebastian trying to get things organized for the teams, as sometimes they go so fast that people forget what's going on.
Looks like we had a little line call dispute there. Looks like challenge team thought the ball was out by a foot. I could kind of read Jesse's lips, which I'm getting a little better at. Great volley.
There's +2 the Stokey way.
Thank you. Just get to the net. I mean, this is not complicated stuff. You know, first short ball, we're on an indoor court. Take it early, put the pressure on with your court position so you don't have to take the risk with your big swings.
Looks like Trey got a little distracted there. You only get one toss, and Trey tossed it, and looks like he heard some noise in the crowd, and it distracted him. This is the tough part for the players. They have to learn to block out all these fans, because they can scream and shout whenever like they can in all the other sports. And Danny off the frame right there, trying to see how much that head racket can really help him out, but I think he's got to try the strings next time.
Got to use the strings. I mean, look, 4 minutes, 13 points. This is still doable. Again, quit giving away. Look at that. It's a free point right there. We got to make him hit a passing shot. we're going to get a few two-pointers naturally, but we need to really clean it up on the challenge side if they want to win this men's bowl.
So 67-53 Tampa on the near side, challenge team on the far side. Jonathan, you're a big fan of coming to the net, but how do you manage that when you're brought in on your opponent's terms, right? Do you just block it in? Because if you do make them pass you, then they could get a +2. Do you go for a bigger approach? How do you handle that when it's not on your terms?
So again, I think the best way to avoid getting passed for a clean two-pointer is to approach through the middle. That way the passing shot player has no angles, and that makes it very difficult. The other thing that worked for us at Duke a ton was hitting slice approaches. That keeps the ball low, it keeps the ball below the net, and so the opponent either has to lob that ball back or hit a slower passing shot. So I wouldn't mind a little bit more chipping and charging, or even like a drop shot approach. But right now, we're missing a few too many, and when they go wide, they open up angles for that passing shot player.
Yeah, Trey finding a lot more time at the net. He's gotten a +2 right there. He's breathing hard, but he's extending that lead. 71-53. Coach Yelena is going to keep him in there and let things roll.
And again, this all started with Nori, 20 minutes ago. He kind of set that tone. It's 17 points. It's kind of lingered around there for the last bolt and a half or 2 bolts. They've done a great job of just maintaining this lead and using that scoreboard pressure.
So trading faults right there. You only get 1 serve in this format, so they've traded a couple faults.
Oh, baby.
That is not an approach shot that Jonathan would like. If you're going to go to a corner, you got to go bigger than that. Should have gone down the middle. +2 for Trey. 20-point lead.
Yeah, this men's match, 19 points, 2 minutes left, it's over, and now we're thinking about the big picture, right? We want to keep this thing close so our ladies, the ringers, can come in and do some damage and get the overall match back. Again, it's a beautiful net that I can see on camera right now. It's got the beautiful Intense logo. I just wish people would stop hitting it so much.
Maybe we'll incorporate a rule. If you actually hit it through the net, it's +20.
I can tell you a rule I might have when I get there in 2 weeks. If you hit 2 balls in the net in a row, you're looking at the bench for the next point.
That sounds like a very big coaching rule right there.
Hopefully I don't have players subbing out every 2 points, but we got to get it over that net. It's the first obstacle.
Last minute here in this entire men's singles portion. Play 3 10-minute bolts. Gone through 2. This is the last one. Danny tried a couple of times to let that backhand go. He has not been successful with it.
Yep.
Interesting to see him run around the forehand to find the backhand. Can he get there?
Shot again.
That's a good save. Beautiful drop shot by Trey Mallory as he's high-fiving his teammates on the side. Getting very comfortable with that 14 second. Yep.
Yeah, one thing I'd love to see is when players get drop shot right back. And you don't have to go wide. You saw him miss that ball wide there. We've seen a couple in the net. Just dump the ball back in front. It's like hot potato. You give me a problem, I'm going to give you that same problem right back. The challenge team has been kind of dominated by that drop shot through the 3 bolts.
Hot potato, hot potato. Trey's certainly hot right now. What a coaching move to sit down Nori earlier in this men's singles portion by Yelena, and then she trusts the rest of her team. And Trey really finished it off incredibly strong, giving Tampa their biggest lead of the match. Jonathan, overall, what'd you think of this men's part?
Honestly, much higher quality than last week. I thought players settled in, got comfortable with the format. I thought Simon made a run early in this 3rd volt where he was playing great tennis. And again, it's just so exhausting to go point. And you saw around that 5-minute mark, he was sucking wind. Then they kind of stabilized, got back to that 15, 20-point margin, but they built the lead early, and then they just played smart, high-percentage tennis from there on in.
Yeah, and let's send it down to the one who's been managing all of this. Luke, you got Coach Yelena.
I've got Coach Awesome. That's who I have, Coach Yelena. You really have the men at a high level. Talk about the approach to the rotations, because they all stayed fresh.
So we switched approach compared to last week. We tried to put 1 player for almost a full bolt, except the last 2 minutes where I put another player. And so I switch at that moment. After that, I have 2 minutes rest. So let's see how he feels at that moment. After like the 2 minutes, he feels good. He keeps going for the second ball. That's what we try to do. So they all like switch on at the end of every ball to make a new player. At some point, Sam just didn't feel good. I could see he was a little bit down, so we switched back to Trey that was still warm for before. Adam switched too longer before, didn't warm up, so I prefer to put someone who's fresh and already sweating and back on the court. So
very good team spirit too. Now with the women, any thoughts on how you're going to do the changes?
So for now, we have 2 new girls that are pretty new in the team, didn't practice that much that format. So we're gonna put the number 1 for now. But I already told 1 girl that warm up for the second ball. I'm only gonna switch 2 girls for the 1 balls, and we see after.
Congratulations. Let's get the women's point. The next bolt, the women's bolts. That's 3 of them. The first one come up next.
Yeah, very interesting strategy. Her conversations already, you can see the adjustment she's making from last week to this week. Incredible job by Elena making adjustments. Now let's go take a look at her player that she's probably going to start off with, Kate Sharabura.
I mean, I'm Canadian, half Canadian. I don't know if that's interesting. My name is Kate Sharabura, and I'm on Team Tampa. I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I started playing tennis because my mom and dad played tennis out of Alta, which is the league in Atlanta. And I basically just started playing with my mom after her matches, and I really loved it, and I was pretty good at it. So I didn't have very many pro aspirations when I was a kid. I was just in it for the love of the game. I had always dreamed about playing college. That's part of my story, is defying the odds. And I remember actually my coach, when I was a lot younger, I asked him,
am I good enough to play D1 right now?
And he was like, well, to be honest, you're on track for D3. And then I took that to heart a little bit, and I was like, no, I'm going to prove you wrong, prove you wrong, prove you wrong, prove you wrong. I played career at Georgia Tech for the past 4 years. I was actually a walk-on, and I wasn't very good. I worked really hard, and I ended up starting my freshman year in singles and doubles. I've improved so much and had amazing coaching. Me and my partner, Carol Lee, were ranked #1 my sophomore year in the country, so that was pretty cool. My proudest accomplishment is I'm an All-American in doubles. I'm All-ACC third team my freshman year, All-ACC second team in doubles my junior year. I was the Southeast Regional Rookie of the Year my freshman year. I was also ACC Scholar Athlete of the Year for women's tennis this year.
That's the way, Kate, all over.
My major is biology, and I also have a certificate in physiology and biomedical sciences. There's 2 different paths for myself in a couple years. The first one would be playing on the pro tour. My other path is being in anesthesia school. The thing that I enjoy most about Intense is the team aspect. And also I would just say that the pay is so much better than ITF and WTA. For these futures and challengers, people are traveling around the world. Everybody's losing money, staying in pretty bad rooms, pretty bad environments. It's just not a luxury experience. And so the fact that I can stay in Atlanta, play tennis on a team, and have this type of pay is like really something that's unique. I played the Intense event in the fall at Georgia Tech, and I really enjoyed it. I think I'm a very aggressive player, and I think that will translate well to Intense because the winners are worth 2 points. I think that'll be good for my team. I like the fact that it's subbing in and all your teammates are there cheering for you. And I like the aspect that you can kind of trash talk and get loud. Having all the fans in there will be pretty similar to the big college matches that I've played in, and everybody yelling, everybody watching. Even if people are against me, I would rather have a lot of people there than no one at all. I'm really looking forward to playing Intense with my college teammate, Alejandra Cruz. I was kind of sad to see that she was not on my team.
Don't be scared, Kate.
She's on Team Jacksonville, and obviously I'm on Team Tampa. So I think that'll give us an opportunity to kind of trash talk each other and have fun a little bit.
I just know that I have better colors than you. I'm just saying.
So I know a lot about her, you know? I know how to take her down, I guess. My first thing to prove is that I'm not done with tennis. I'm graduated, but I'm still out here playing. I don't want to lose.
Welcome back to the Intense Arena in the heart of the Peach State, where we have the women's singles match coming up, and it looks like we're going to have the ITA scholar
Start of women's singles.
herself leading things off for Tampa.
All right, challengers, you guys have the call. Heads or tails? Heads is the call. It's tails. Serve or receive?
Serve.
Tampa to serve. Good match.
Looks like Kate Sharabura on the near side for Tampa is going to start things off. Robin Anderson on the far side for the challenge team. Jonathan, we got an ITA scholar, All-American, biomedical sciences certificate. I think she uses a few spreadsheets. What do you think?
She's a pretty smart player. And the funny thing is I know her very well because I coached a lot of highly ranked national junior girls that ran into her at a bunch of tournaments about 4 or 5 years ago. And she used to absolutely destroy us. She's a super smart player, very versatile. Look at that already. She used to give me nightmares as a coach. She's a very, very quality player and a very, very smart girl.
So Kate Sherabura serving on the near side, Robin Anderson on the far side. So you see the two different scores there. So it is cumulative scores at the end of the day, but when we have a different match, we get a new format. So the women right now for Kate, they start off, it's 3-1 for Kate. The way the prize money works for these players is if they win their respective category, they take prize money right there. So you have the overall score for the match, but then they're also playing for their prize money in their singles and doubles matches right there. And so 3-2 for Kate in the women's portion of the match. 83, let's see, was that a +2? It was. That forehand jumped away. 83-61. Robin Anderson on the far side.
And I already like what I'm seeing from both girls with the serve. Just simple topspin, body serves. They haven't given away many freebies. Wow, look at that slice.
Oh, to the Stokey way.
Honestly, that should be like a three-pointer. That was absolutely bonkers. What a stretch. Oh, of course. Followed up with a fault.
It's okay, still comes out as +1, so you hit a clean winner, it counts as +2. Anything else, it's just +1. So if you hit a clean winner and lose the next one, you still come out on top.
And you see that approach right there from Robin? That's that low ball in the middle of the court. Right there, to me, that's a slice every day of the week. I just think it's too tough to hit that topspin ball and bring it down quickly inside the baseline. That's a chip all day in my book.
Yeah, it could be some of the nerves settling in for these players as they try to get comfortable. Robin Anderson, former #1 college player from UCLA, jumping in for the challenge team. See if he can help them get another upset. I think we've already seen more slices here than in the men's match so far, Jonathan.
Yeah, Sherabura has a ton of variety. You saw the forehand slice, which, by the way, is a ground choke. I get livid when people say a forehand slice isn't. It's a great option. It's something new. You mess up the rhythm, you mess up the timing, and that's why she's really tricky to play against.
So 8-6 Tampa in the women's portion of the match, 88-63 in the overall match. Kate Sherabura serving on the near side. Robin Anderson far side. Jonathan Stokey joined me to watch all of today's action. As you see, the one serve, one toss rule. You miss the serve, that's it. Fans getting involved now. That's another rule right there. So if the serve hits the net but goes in, it counts.
Yep, I'd love to see it. Let's get rid. What do we need to stop a point for? Because it dribbled over the net. If the returner hits a leg cord winner, we don't stop the point. So why not do it on the serve? I absolutely love it. I think that's 3 in a row.
Pretty good effort. Great kick by Kate with the serve and volley. That's a good effort by Robin to make that only a +1 for Tampa, but what a serve and volley.
That's a great play. That's an absolutely nasty kicker. I think she got a little tight on that volley, honestly, because she thought she had a two-pointer. But look, she did it again. Hey, when you find something that works, you keep going till the well until it dries up.
91-65 for those of you jumping in, but that didn't watch last week. We saw a 40-point lead come down to single digits by the time we got to the doubles portion. So still a lot of tennis for those of us, everybody that's been watching this. This is new for us, so seeing these scores looks like a big lead, but they can dwindle pretty fast. And we'll see if Robin Anderson can get her challenge team back in the mix using a beautiful slice right there.
Okay, but even though Kate missed that approach, that is Stokey 101 right there. Slice down the middle. You saw where Robin hit it. It was right back to her. So if she hadn't missed that deep, she was going to have a chance for a two-pointer. I think if they stick with that for the next 2.5 volts, that'll pay dividends for sure.
Great forehand by Robin, but great defense. Kate has great length, great defense to get it back in play. Let's see if she's going to continue to try to use that heavy forehand right there. Just missed long. 5 minutes left in this first of 3 10-minute bolts in the women's singles portion of the match.
if there was one hole in Kate's game that I'd like to see Robin attack a little bit more, it would be that forehand side. So yes, that slice is a strength and it's good variety. I think she probably also developed that over her career because the backhand's a little stronger. So I wouldn't mind seeing some approaches to that forehand side.
Another serve and volley. Great defense as we see Scarlett Nicholson coming in. The Georgia Tech standout All-American right there. Wow, what a substitution, coming in pretty fast and getting +2 for her team. So teams get an unlimited amount of substitutions. Jesse getting his second woman in for the day. You can hear him with some strong encouragement for Scarlett, who's off to a good start.
I think you can nickname her the microwave. She came in, got a 2-pointer and a quick 1-pointer. There's a 4th point. She's got 4 points in like 30 seconds. Just heating up quickly. That's awesome.
There's that backhand you were talking about from Kate. Beautiful backhand, a clean windup and just crushes it line.
Yeah, if I'm going against Kate, I don't want any part of that big backswing. She rips that side. I'd stick on the forehand.
We're not going to talk about that one. I think she was trying to give a shout out to our sponsor, Emory Sports Medicine, because she hit that sign on the fly saying hello. You know, Scarlett, Georgia Tech here, Emory, Atlanta based as well. So saying hello to her friends over there.
Kate's going through 7 minutes now. It's going to be impressive if her fitness holds up. Again, this is where you can see some quick mistakes or some bad decisions. 7 straight minutes in a bolt is definitely not easy.
Well, Jonathan, I don't know if you were listening, but I certainly was to Yelena's interview with Luke when she talked to how she liked to have a player go in and play 8 minutes and then go in with a sub just for the last 2 minutes to get him warm for the next bolt. So looks like she's maintaining that strategy right now. And we'll see if in 44 seconds we're going to get another sub. And there you can hear Jesse there.
Yeah, super smart from her. I like her strategy. And Jesse seems to be, you know, hey, not using many timeouts on either side. We'll see if he's as prepared as Yelena is. But he's a Gator, so you never know.
Scarlett's starting to loosen up, swing big. Big serve. Didn't work out, but she is definitely going for some power.
Okay, hopefully I'm not saying anything that's groundbreaking here, but Kate was going kicker wide serving volley like 4 or 5 times in a row. Eventually, we're going to have to take that away from her and step out. Fortunately for the challenge team, they just subbed her out, so that solved their problem.
Yeah, at some point, as much as it is a good shot, when you keep doing it over and over, that's just a bad strategy by the opponent to not take it away. And there we see substitution from Yelena in the 2-minute mark. So it looks like my listening skills do work. I hope my wife is listening to that. We got a 1.5 minutes here in this first of 3 10-minute bullets, and Day Souza sees her first action for the day.
Perfect. Yeah, let's keep moving. Making noise. Making noise. Huh?
All right, we see the underhand serve there.
All right. It's just. No, exactly. She did it.
What happened? Redo?
What happened? Replay.
Her ball out, which was it?
Come on, Ralph. Gotta lock in. Hey, I gotta lock in too.
Take it, come on, let's go.
Lock in.
Keep going to the net, and you have such a good game to go for that, and especially on
Let's see, 45 seconds left here. Sam Nicholson.
Nail biter time in the first bolt.
Yeah, Sam Nicholson on the far side for the challenge team. Big +2. She's been swinging away, so I'm not surprised at that power. If she starts to connect, though, that is going to be scary because she has definitely hit the biggest shots of the day. Great serving. Challenge team on their feet. Big fist pumps. Looks like we're going to see our last point or two. 101 to 81. Tampa on the near side. Challenge team on the far side.
And even though Scarlett's had a few missed serves, I'm really impressed how she's going after it, and she's actually making enough to make that a worthwhile tactic. Super impressive.
Yeah, and that was a good heavy backhand, but Day handled that extremely well to send it back and get one more point for the Tampa team. Jonathan, what do you think? We got the women's portion going on.
Yeah, I thought Kate was super impressive. Tons of variety early, lots of slices, kick, serve, and volley, getting to the net. That is super tricky to play against. And like I said, that backhand, this is just an absolute joke. I mean, at that point, you kind of know it might be your day. But then I thought later in the bolt, I thought Scarlett came in and she started hitting some big serves and taking some offense too, and was able to kind of negate all that good work that Kate had done. But super high level from all the girls who made it into the action.
Yeah, some high level action, but Luke's got the power hitter herself. Luke.
Power hitter, Scarlett the Microwave Nicholson. Microwave, you just come in and just take over.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm shocked by that nickname, but it's amazing. I love good nicknames.
Well, you guys were down. You brought the team back right in it. It seems like you were mixing up. I saw some loopers, saw some power balls, some slices. How's the court playing?
I feel like the court is a little bit faster than what I'm used to on the Georgia Tech courts where I play. But I don't know. I mean, it's very different. Everything is unique, but honestly, I love the energy. I love the lights, and I can't complain about anything right now. So, yeah.
What makes intense tennis so special?
Well, it's very unique. I think it's time to speed up the game of tennis a little bit, and this is the most amazing way to do it. I mean, I'm really respecting what everyone's doing out here, trying to start something from scratch. So I'm just really grateful to be a part of it.
Go hit winners.
Yes, okay, I will. Thank you.
Bolt number 2's right now.
There was Luke with Miss Microwave there. Stokey, she came out hot. Let's see if she can continue it, because there's still a little bit of a big lead in the overall portion of the match, as she's going to get things started for the challenge team here in this second of 3 10-minute bolts.
Yep, and I love Jessie keeping her right in there. Let her keep going. She finished strong. She got a second win there. You get a little break. She's ready to go.
De Souza on the near side for Tampa, starting things off. We saw her struggle with her serve a little bit, but she made up for it with some of her ground strokes. 25-22 for the challenge team in the women's portion of the match. 102-82 overall for Tampa.
But you saw Scarlett serve. Look at, yeah, great two-pointer there. One thing I think, JY, we're going to see is players who have a lot of slice on their serve could struggle, especially when they get tight, because there's no spin to bring the ball down. Scarlett has so much top spin on that serve that it's easier for her to go after it and stay consistent.
This is so important right there. It looked like a +2 potential for Scarlett, but they just put the ball in play. It's a lot harder to hit winners than people think. You see two players right there. You know, Scarlett had her turn, Day her turn as well. It's not easy to just take ground strokes and just rip them for winners left and right. And sometimes keeping things simple, put it in play is more than enough.
I feel like I complain about that on my YouTube channel on a weekly basis, but look, you're going to see 3-point swings. You get a short forehand there, you think it could be 2 for you, and then you bury it in the middle of the net, and it's 1 for the opponent. So you're going to have these little swings throughout the match, and you're going to have to handle that mentally and emotionally.
I love that plug for the Baseline Intelligence YouTube channel of Jonathan Stokey. If all of those of you watching and listening have not been on, if you want to see one of the best coaches in the country tell you the simple things of just make balls, that's where you got to go. But it makes a difference, Jonathan.
Hey, common sense works. You know, there's nothing complicated. Just because it's not complicated doesn't mean it's easy. You know, these girls are trying to use simple tactics, but it's very, very tough to execute, especially under pressure.
Well, they've practiced for years to make it look easy. So great overhead right there in the defense. Day takes it out of the air for the +2. Great swinging volley. 8 minutes left in this second of 3 10-minute bolts. Day starting to play a little better and better right there. Scarlett's serving well, but Day's heating up on the ground stroke side, just not on the serve side.
I want to know if the women's players have been plugged into our feed, because I feel like they've been coming to the net a lot more than the men's players.
Well, I heard they did watch our Twitch stream last time for highlights and loved your commentary, so I think They took notes, and we have Alessandra Crump jumping in on the near side, seeing her first action of the day for Team Tampa. Scarlett's still in over there. We see Delana Hewitt warming up in the back over there. We'll see when she's going to jump in and get some action for the challenge team.
I'm curious to know how Jesse's using his substitution patterns. If he's riding the hot hand, if he's going strictly based on time. Right here you see 2 loose airs from Scarlett in a row. That might be enough for me to give her a little break and try Delana or someone else.
Let's see if Jesse's giving a little sign over there at Delana that she's starting to bounce. She's got a racket in her hand. Just seeing points trading back and forth. Let's see, we're going to see some of the underhand serves just to do it the Stokey way. Just put it in play, put it in the other player's hands, see what they can do. Scarlett started off serving well, but some faults are coming in. Heavy forehand there. We see a timeout from Jesse. Let's see if we can tune into him a little bit and hear some of his great coaching for his team.
Good. Time to reset a little bit. I'm gonna put D in now. You good? It gets you winded a little bit, no? I like it. 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 D, you still got like. It's so we're in this, man. It's not even like doubles and doubles points go like insane. Yeah. Delana, I gave you her. Delana, turn around for a sec. The number 29. Yeah. Yeah, Delana. I didn't know on a timeout. I got to tell you too. I didn't know on a timeout. I have to tell you too. Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah, but I didn't know on the timeout as well. I thought like just if it's on the fly. All right, here you go. Time for some 2-pointers.
All right, we're back here. As you see, Jesse's learning all the rules himself right there. You have to let the referee know when you're going to have a substitution. And we have a substitution for the challenge team, Delana Hewitt on the far side, the Cleveland native, jumping in this week to try to get her piece of the action here in the Intense League. Alessandra Crump on the near side, still in it for Tampa.
Delana's using that beautiful Yonex E-Zone. I love that new paint color. I just got one the other day. I watched Pagula win her grass court tournament today with it. It's a gorgeous racket, tons of power, and she's a super powerful player.
Super powerful player and super determined. You know, I learned just yesterday, Stokey, that during COVID, you know, she was playing professional tennis, and, you know, when the tours were shut down, she had to make some money somehow, because as a player, if you don't play in the other tours, then you don't make money. So she started working in the Amazon warehouse, helping move boxes and shipments back and forth from the trucks. And I'm going to go one step further. She worked the night shift from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. just to stay afloat when she's supposed to be a professional tennis player, but she had to make money.
Absolutely love that. I mean, how can you not root for someone who's willing to work hard, chase their dreams, go that extra mile? That's awesome to hear.
You know, it's stories like that, as awesome as that determination is, those are the stories that have helped create the Intense League, where we have players that are salaried, taken care of. During COVID, they would have had their salary, they would have continued to play, and they wouldn't have had to work at an Amazon warehouse just to make ends meet. They could have just kept focused on their training and playing, but Delana's super determined, and we'll see how determined she can be to try to get her team back into it. 115-116 for Tampa on the near side, 95 on the far side for the challenge team.
And you can see these serves are piling up, and I've watched Delana play before. She's got a monster serve, but now with only one, I think she's kind of in between strategies. She's kind of going for it, but she's not being consistent enough. Oh, yeah, we got a bad toss there.
And there you see the one toss rule. So Jonathan mentioned the one serve rule. You also only have one toss. So serve bots, beware. John, that was the first time we saw a serve and volley from Kate on the deuce side. Very successful on the ad side. Deuce side's a little bit more difficult because you can't open up the court as much.
Agreed, and I've got a basic rule. When you're on offense, play offense, and when you're on defense, play defense. And that sounds super simple, but I thought Kate got that volley and actually hit it defensively, which ended up being a 2-pointer for Delana. So when you're at the net, I'd like to see them go for it a little bit more.
Great angle right there. And the coach, Jesse Levine, seen some of those +2s that he asked for. The challenge team is cutting this deficit down. They're up 44 to 37 in the women's portion of this match. There's that big serve. Looks like she's loosening up and trying to find that big power that she has.
Yeah, I thought she looked, just the look on her face, she looked a little nervous. She didn't know what side she was starting on when she first got into this action. Right now she's settling in, she looks comfortable, her breathing looks normal. That's an interesting one. Hey, you know what? That's my first commentator's jinx of the day. I'm okay with that so far.
Hey, if that's your first push-up of the day, we'll take it.
Yeah, in the second bolt of the women's match, I'm all good with that.
I think it's a great start for you, and Delana's off to a pretty good start right now. So let's see if she can continue. 2 minutes left of this second of 3 10-minute bolts. Great forehand, but a great touch actually by Kate to make that effort, touch that ball and limit to only +1. If you hit a clean winner, it's +2. What a serve.
Ironically, this format, I'd actually rather her miss that than leave this 2-pointer right there.
And we actually did see some of that, Jonathan, in the qualifying. Some of our players who have been playing the qualifying for the second week in a row, they actually started doing that. They started to pay attention to when it's worth it to just put that ball in play or just tap it in the ground and move on. And right there, we saw a little bit of confusion because if you hit a clean winner, you gotta go back and serve on the same side you just played.
And that's going to be, honestly, I'm taking notes here for when I'm the guest coach. That's going to be top of my list, is make sure I remind people, hey, you hit the winner, go right back to where you are, be ready to serve and be simple. That seems to be something players are struggling with a little bit still early on.
You know, the more notes you take and the more you watch, the harder I'm going to be on you when you make a mistake.
Hey, I like the bright lights. I mean, hey, my whole goal is just make sure I do a better job coaching than Jesse. You know what I mean? So I just want to do better than a Gator. Duke Blue Devil better than a Gator.
I'll say amen to that all day long. 45 seconds left. The screens are up. Yo, the quick serve by De Souza. That's a +2 right there. So it's true server's pace. If the returner's not ready, it doesn't matter. So Day went fast, got the +2 because Delana was not ready for that. These are some big points as we finish off. Delana was doing extremely well, but a couple points going the other way for Tampa.
And it's still great defense to limit that to 1. I thought there were a couple 2-point opportunities there. And again, I'd love to see Delana close this out here with a solid point.
All right, push up for Jonathan as we are going to recap a little bit of this second of 3 10-minute bolts here. Jonathan, just very interesting from Delana. Had a couple big 2s that went the other way, but she stayed calm there.
Yeah, you know, Scarlett started it off. She was hot in that first one, and I did think she pulled off a little bit. Some of that could be fatigue. And then Delana came in, I thought, did a very, very solid job playing offense. Again, the challenge team has probably accumulated more 2-pointers, and we only saw that little flash of Shirabura in bolt 2. I'd love to see a little bit more of her in bolt 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And there we see that serve and volleying, one of the few points that Kate lost serve and volleying. But she did great before that. As we go down to Luke Jensen, who has Delana.
Boy, is she a star. You're hitting the big serves, even though normally you got the big heater. Second serve kick, slider. How do you like this format?
You know, I love a good first serve, but the second serve keeps it interesting. You get to actually play some points instead of just racking up the aces, so it's fun.
Well, what about the brain cramp where you turn around and she gets an ace on you? Pay attention.
Yeah, gotta get used to that. I was just trying to regroup, and then all of a sudden she hits the underhand serve. It's like, what's going on?
Dirty pool on that. You got the next bolt right now. Your team's back into it.
Yep, pumped, ready to go.
Hit winners. When we come back, women's bolt number 3. It's getting close.
there, Delana. As you can see, this is the tough part with the challenge team, right? They are still getting used to these rules, even though we do have a qualifying event. You know, they're not practicing in this every day like the Tampa team. This is their first time playing in this format under the lights. Tampa had their rough, nervy showing last week, and you can see a much calmer demeanor from all the players. De Souza with your mini veteran play right there when she noticed that Delana Hewitt was not ready. Got the +2 with the quick serve, and she's going to get things started in this final women's singles bolt. Tampa leading 124 to 110. Challenge team is chipping away.
We got a couple things at play here. Obviously, challenge team, 10-point lead, so they're in a good position to win this overall women's portion. But we got doubles coming up too. So if I'm both teams, I want to win this bolt by 10. If I'm the challenge team, I want to win the overall by 20. And if I'm Tampa, I want to come back and steal this by 1. So I hope both teams have that urgency and that desire to kind of win this third bolt.
Yeah, you do definitely do not want to leave it down towards the doubles, because points can rack up really fast when a team gets hot. If you're Tampa, you really want to make a run right here. Kate Sharabura has done the best for that team. We'll see when she comes back in, as she started this bolt on the sideline. De Souza on the near side for Team Tampa. Delana Hewitt on the far side with their coach Jesse Levine. The whole team is up. They know they're coming back into it. They're getting fired up, and Delana's firing some serves right there. Ooh.
You see both players get a little bit stuck with their footwork. Again, that could be a sign of nerves, but keeping a rhythm with your feet is absolutely essential, especially in this format when things are going quickly and it's a little chaotic, is you want to create your own timing with your footwork.
Great serve by Delana, stretching Day out wide, and she tried to just chip it back in and pushed it wide.
Something I've noticed with Delana is I think she serves that little bit of slice on that, what she would call her second serve. She goes out wide a little bit more than the dudes. That one looked uncomfortable going out wide the ad. So if I was going against her, I think I would take away that serve beforehand.
And there, Day forgot about the one toss rule, caught it just in time to block it in, but unfortunately that left a little puff ball for Delana, and she crushes a forehand down the line.
I'm glad you said something there, because I had no idea what the hell that serve was, but now it makes a little bit more sense.
I think puff ball is a pretty fair, description of it. We see
it might be generous, actually.
I'm a nice guy. We'll see tonight when Jesse sits next to me in the booth. I will not be a nice guy when it comes to that one. As Alessandra Crump is now substituting in. Teams get an unlimited amount of substitutions. She gives a big fist pump right there, as she looks like to have that sense of urgency to try to make them pull away a little bit more, because it is dwindling right now, their lead.
Yep, time's dripping away. I'm interested to see if Kate will come back in. I thought she's been the strongest player for Team Tampa, but 9 points, 7 minutes, definitely doable. It's a great serve.
Alessandra fired up. We see Jesse with another use of the timeouts, giving a high five to Delana. Let's see what good coaching advice he's got for his team right now.
Yannick, Robin's gonna go in. Yeah, it's all good. Get ready. That was good playing. It was good. You build a big lead, and now probably put you in to finish, so you stay warm. Okay? Yeah, that was good. That was good. Very good. Very good. Robin, you can outsteady her the whole time. Don't feel like you need to go for too much too soon. She's not going to hurt you. You know what I mean? So just be solid. And keep building on it one at a time. Don't think you need the 2-pointers right now. You got
Some of the bounces, like the ball is bouncing and just sitting there. And
no, I understand. But even so, especially here, you need to keep your feet moving even more until you hit the shot. Don't feel like you can sit still, because even though it's indoors and on a hard court, sometimes it just takes an off bounce. So keep the feet going a little longer than normal. That's all. And bring the intensity. If you need a break, I'd take her out. All right. There you go.
They received coaching advice from Jesse Levine. So this court, even though it is an indoor court, they're typically very fast, but these brand new, just laid down, so they're gritty right there, and a good slice can really check, whereas players are used to that slice moving fast through the court. Big +2 for Alessandra Crump for Team Tampa in 135 on the near side, 118 challenge team on the far side.
That's one of those nightmares as a coach where he told Robin, hey, she can't hurt you. Then she comes out and rocks the forehand for a 2-pointer right away.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want, because then, you know, the player is like, well, how, is he totally wrong? What is she going to do? Hopefully Robin trusts Jessie, and that was just a one-time shot. But Alessandra staying steady there. Can Robin be the one that stays steady long enough as Jessie would like her to be? There's some of that steadiness right there, the unforced error from Alessandra, but she's maintaining a good positive attitude here. She does not look to be just putting balls in play. She's trying to hit.
I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of falling in love with that Crump forehand right now. She's moving her feet, open stance, tons of racket speed. She's actually playing to responsible targets. I'm really liking what I've seen.
Great attitude in between points as well, bouncing her feet. You can hear her say come on to herself. Good verbal positivity, and I think it's helping her stay very locked in once the point starts.
And I was just going to say, she's almost playing so well that I can't jinx her. That drop shot's on me, and now she can go back to work.
But you didn't say it, so, you know, I think you're okay right there. And there you see the let rule. We do not have lets in the Intense League, so if the serve hits the net, if it goes in, you play the point. We don't want to slow down for lets. Come on.
That's such a great serve from Robin there. Slice up the tee. Maybe a little timeout.
Yeah, Yelena with one of the few timeouts that she's got. So let's see if Yelena's got some coaching advice for her team.
Yeah, you can see it right here. I mean, a lot of people are expecting a topspin serve with the backhand body. But when you can sprinkle in that slice serve tee, right there, you got Crump stretched out. And that's kind of a free point, and then it opens up that topspin spin for later.
You want to keep playing or put her? I will put you 1 more minute, but then I switch with her for the last 3 minutes. Okay? Yeah? So keep going with your winners, keep going with your cross, get back as much as you can, and then I switch. Last 3 minutes for you, okay? 1 minute. I put her 1 minute and last 3 minutes for you. So I want her like to go for full in. You play your game after, because I don't want her to have like, I don't want you to have too much difference points. Yeah. Because I mean, you're gonna go in the net anyway. In the last minute, if you fail out.
There we hear the coaching from Yelena Labat, telling her team when they're going to be subbing in and when they're going to be not.
And that's one of those interesting ones. She waited for that lob to go wide, but I think I would have liked her to swing volley and maybe get a chance for 2 there, just for how easy that was.
We'll see at the end of the day, will that extra +1, would it have made a difference or not? About 4.5 minutes left. Kate Scherber is going to be close to getting in right there. Yelena telling her to warm up. Getting on the bike right there. Alessandra swinging away, but now she's not connecting as well. So you see Scarlett Nicholson for challenge team also warming up right there. Let's see if we're going to maintain with this matchup. Robin Anderson on the far side. UCLA graduate, #1 player in college during her time. Been spending a lot of time playing on the WTA Tour, had a lot of success. And there's that substitution. Kate Scherber on the near side. Are we going to see a kick serve out wide, serve and volley here, Jonathan?
Hey, right on the court right away, that'd be a bold ask.
Well, that's just as good. +2 for Kate. Instead of the serve and volley, she settles for the backhand winner down the line. +2.
There she goes.
Oh, okay.
Again, on that slow passing shot, she kind of got stuck with her feet. If she takes 1 more step closer and has her momentum, I think she gets another 2-pointer there.
Good heavy backhand by Robin, using the left hand to get that topspin, and I just jinxed it. So I think that's my first push-up of the J, Jonathan.
Again, we're doing much better week 2. You know, we can't blame ourselves for everything, but
no,
when the compliments start flying, the errors start coming.
look, as far as for me, for the rest of today, I'm blaming you. So I don't know about you.
I'm happy to take it. I always blame me.
Well, that's why you're a great partner. We're excited to have you here as Kate with another good volley. Kate Sherber on the near side for Tampa. It's been very close in this women's singles portion of the match. Challenge team only up 69-64. So for those of you wondering why we have the different scores, we have the players that if they win their individual gender category of the match, they split prize money, so the men have their men's singles, the women have their women's singles, and then for the doubles, everybody splits that because everybody's involved. But then you have the total cumulative score at the end of the day that reflects the overall team win. So playing for multiple things, as Scarlett got to the net there, was trying to get a +2 for her team. Just needs a little bit more work with Stokey on that volley.
Hey, and honestly, this is how I want the women's portion to end. We got the microwave over there. We got Kate, who's been coming in with the variety. It's a 6-point match. We got about 90, 100 seconds left. This is going to be a great finish.
And Kate with the biomedical sciences certificate discussed how she had a passion for anesthesiology, and she is just numb to all the stress today, playing great tennis. Great touch, goes for the +2, she got it! Oh! What a shot!
That's a 4-point swing right there. I thought it was going to be 2 for challenge team, and she just stole that.
Oh, right back! Scarlett reminding Kate who played #1 at Georgia Tech right there.
What a serve.
And we see a timeout right there to just kind of slow things down a little bit for Yelena. She had one more timeout to use. Jonathan, you said it, you can't take it. I think that's a good decision right there.
Too much point. Like, you try to go, if it doesn't work, then you play long point. If it works on a few first points, go for it. Okay? It's a little high back in. Keep going, you're doing good. Let's go. It's only 5 points. It's only 5 points, so no rush, no rush. Especially at the beginning, you have still 51 seconds, so as soon as you're serving, you're good. Keep the ball for serving, let's go. Got it. I mean, you will start the 7 points. You're good.
Here we go, Yelena Labat, definitely the youngest coach in the league, but speaking like a true veteran right there. Very confident with her words to Keisha Robura. And there's that serve and volley. Great movement by Scarlett, but maybe should have taken Jonathan's advice and just kind of hit it in the ground and move on. But it's hard. We've seen both players with some unbelievable angle passing shots. Hard to pass that Sports Center highlight reel up. Someone's got to take away her kick serve out wide, serve and volley. Come on, man.
Yeah, I need both feet of the returner in the alley there. I mean, we know she's going there. We know she's good at it. Great return, but we can't let Kate do what she likes best. 3 points here, 20 seconds. Let's see what we got.
Slowing down. 4,
Very
3.
smart.
Oh, we're going to give that point to the crowd right there. They really ramped up as she was about to serve. And
yeah,
she
smart.
Giving another hello to Emory Sports Medicine on the back over there. Clean shot over there. They still take that women's portion only by 1. So Tampa still with the lead as we get into the doubles portion. Jonathan, give us your thoughts about that women's singles match.
Super high quality from all 6 players, and I want to shout out, I think she missed that forehand on purpose so that Kate could not have an opportunity for a 2-pointer, which is actually very, very smart. So yes, it cost her a point in the overall match, but they were able to win that women's portion. So super fantastic.
It looks like Luke down there. What do you have? Are those teammates or what?
Yellow Jackets. I've got all Americans. This is awesome. When teammates collide, you know each other's game so well, but this intense format, it's a little faster.
Yes, it's so much faster and honestly a lot different from the practices where we play each other. Like, it's a different game for sure.
Now, microwave, this is like your kind of speed, right? Lots of winners, big shots, but playing your teammate that knows you so well.
Yeah, I mean, it's very strange, but honestly, I looked over and I saw Kate smiling at me, and I just like had a blast. So, you know, there's no like weird, you know, unfriendliness between us. So we honestly, I think it was just a lot of fun for both.
No rock fight, no knife fight, just good sportsmanship here at Intense. Kate, tell me about, I think you're the unicorn in the universe on the WTA Tour that hits a kick serve, comes in behind it. Where did you get that play?
Well, I started serving volleying just because I'm so tall and I feel like my serve is a big weapon, and then also my volleys are a big weapon, so, you know, why not just combine it and serve and volley? And it's been working for me really well, especially this year. I started doing a lot more.
Are you guys having intense fun?
So much time, so much fun, yes.
Get ready for the next bolt.
So ready.
Next bolt, men's doubles, mixed doubles, women's doubles. The last three, it's where we're going to see who's going to win this thing.
Well, we are going to see who's going to win this thing. The women, at least for the challenge team, cut the deficit by 1. That was a close match right there. We were going to try to see who was going to pull away. They took the first bolt 24-22, second one 29-22. They started to pull away, but the Tampa team hung in there, won that third and final bolt 29-21. What a tight match right there, and we're going to have a really close match going in. It is going to be fireworks. We're going to see who's going to get those +2s. Absolutely incredible as we see all these yellow jackets now competing against each other, and we're going to see who can finish off this team match here with challenge team versus Tampa. Can they pull off the upset? Going to be a tough one. Welcome back, everyone, to the Intense Arena, where it is going to be an intense finish here as we have Tampa taking on the challenge team. I got Jonathan Stokey. I got Luke Jensen. What an incredible finish we are going to have. Luke, what are you going to look for here?
Well, first of all, Stokey has to, he's coming up with all this coaching stuff. Okay, the rubber meets the road now, okay? Who wants this? Which team is going to bring the energy? Which team is going to hit the winners? Which team really wants it? So Stokey, take a back seat, okay? Let the players do it, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Chip Rally gave me the shades. We're ready to take it next level here at Intense.
Hey, he looks a little better than Chip Rally, and I love how he keeps telling the players to hit winners. Luke, who do you think is going to hit the most winners here in the doubles portion?
I'll tell you, the guys, what I saw last weekend was the teams are trying to get to net as quickly as possible. Who has the effective one serve, right? Not a bunny, not a point starter. Do something with that second, and then get at the net and try to do something.
All right, this is the start of our doubles bolt. We'll start with the men. Any questions before we begin? Just as a reminder, when making substitutions, the player that comes on must come to the same side as the player that's being subbed off. If not, it'll be blown by the whistle. All right, challengers, heads or tails? Tails. Tails is the call. It's tails. Serve or receive? Challengers to serve. Good match.
Here we go. Final portion of this duel. Simon Pritchard, Mr. Owl on the far side with Elias Shakri. Nori Adam unleashing on some forehands on the near side with Sam Frizzell for Tampa. It's 153 to 132. That might sound like a lot when you're coming from traditional tennis, But with the +2 format for somebody who hits a clean winner, things can pile up real fast as we see 2 points in a row to the challenge team. Ooh, had that opener.
Forehand is an absolute bazooka.
That serve is not. Nori, the captain of the Tampa team from Sudan. Incredible story, having to wait multiple years for a scholarship in the United States, testing the patience of everybody, including his parents. Stuck it out, and here we are. And I don't think he liked seeing that poach from Simon Pritchard. +2 on the challenge team side there. And we're gonna see how Elias can handle that serve. We've seen him struggle a little bit when things first got started in his first action.
Yeah, he's been a little uncomfortable all day, but again, one of the biggest things with doubles, period, is energy and movement in between points. Now with this format, it's even more important. So I want to see the players on the sideline. I already saw challenge team kind of getting up off their feet. But hey, it's a sprint to the finish line, and we got to have the energy from both teams.
Great poach right there. Mr. Smiles between the legs right there. +2, you go back and serve on the same side. Sam Frizzell serving for Team Tampa. Oh, great forehand. That was tricky. Elias was looking for the poach. Sam snuck it down the line. Nori having a big effect on his team. Sam all smiles right there.
That's a great first volley. Generally speaking, it's tough to do well in doubles when you're on defense, especially with these 2-pointers. And so I actually am looking for Nori here to kind of dominate with his offense, with his power. Getting both guys up to the net like that is a beautiful option. But I think whatever team can get to the net and kind of be on the front foot is going to do well in these doubles portions.
As much as I agree, you still have to give a lot of credit to Sam with the volleys. And the reflex by Nori, still got to have hands like that. Hands like butter, soft touch there through the middle of the court. All
yeah,
smiles.
Sam's doing a great job. He's putting that serve in. He's dug out some really difficult first volleys here. He's just been rock solid, and then kind of letting Nori sprinkle in some 2-pointers. But right now they're playing off each other very, very well.
Let's see, can the challenge team stay calm? There's still a lot of tennis, but Tampa's starting to pull away a little bit. Sam's playing very well. Look at those reflexes. We're gonna start to see, as much as we know that these leads can dwindle fast, you see that clock running in the background. It has an effect on you that you think you need to win a lot fast. And so we're gonna see, oh gosh, did he touch it? He did, off the net, but at least Elias touched it with his racket, so it's only a +1.
I mean, he took that return from about halfway between the service line and the baseline. That was super impressive. All right, let's see if this serve looks a little more comfortable here.
Looked like it was off the net a little bit. Great defense. That was tricky because I was wondering, he was in a very defensive position. Do you want to give up that much court? But Sam couldn't take advantage. 1 point for challenge team. Rocket forehand, boom!
That is, I can barely see it on my screen. That is so wildly huge. And honestly, the intensifiers in the background have to watch out. That thing is a heat-seeking missile, man.
NASA has been put on notice. Ooh, whoa, Simon just said, I'm here as well, my friend. What a forehand. That was huge.
And this is the tricky part. 1 toss, 1 serve. It's a lot of slower topspin serves, and these returners are absolutely teeing off right now.
That serve had a little bit more slice. Nori was expecting it to kick up a little bit more. Caught it a little bit away from him, pulled it wide. Oh, look at Mr. Owl himself spreading his wings and letting that serve fly.
And I was wondering when we were going to see players sprinkle that in, because the topspin serve right now really just isn't that effective. And then you're going to have to balance out how many free points you can give away, but I like them sprinkling in that big serve. Like
Simon
that.
is feeling it on his serve. That's a point for the fans again. They can scream, they can shout whenever they want. They timed that extremely well. Silence up until the point Simon was about to hit.
Don't give the fans credit. You said he was serving well. That's on you. Commentators jinx. I think we're tied up on the deck.
No. That was the fans. Great fans. Great fans coming out here, being a part of the show. Great move right there. Get up there. Ooh, he just made it. +2. Now they got to go back and serve on the same side. Jesse right there telling them to get yourself together. Slow down. It's okay.
That looked like a quick racket change. Look at you broke your string on that last point.
Yes. And Nori, +2. Like we said, at doubles, you can really rack up these +2s. Nori, good hands and good close right there. Ooh, that was close, but Bolt 6 said no. It was in.
And I don't know, these returns are getting dangerous. I think we need to see a little bit more on these serves. Of course, we get one in the net right when I say it, but mixing in a little bit more speed, a little bit more variety. The last thing I want to see is Nori lining up a forehand right here.
Well, you know what can make this very safe for the players at the net is my favorite formation, which is 2 back on the serve. I hated volleying. I hated it. I just wanted to hit forehands all day.
Hey, you know what? Mix it up. Give them different looks.
172, 152. Challenge team trying to chip away. They're in this. We got a lot of time left. First of 3 10-minute bolts in all these doubles formats. Fans coming in. They are really having a big impact today as they themselves are learning when to be their best version of themselves to help the teams out. Trey Mallory in for Sam Frizzell. Trey on the near side, serving for Tampa. First action in doubles. Great movement, flying around. Nori smiles, loving that.
Such a great move there, and I was hoping he'd go. When someone goes at you like that, and he had great reflexes on the first one, they're not going to try you twice in a row. They're always going to go open court. He read them like a book and got the free 2-pointer. So good.
Nori, man, he is timing everything well. He is having a big impact on the players in the baseline. Is he going? Is he not? Always faking, never still. Doubles coach's dream right there.
Yeah, I love to watch it. Big frame up there, knows what he's doing, nice and balanced.
Oh, I was just going to say the Bryan brothers are going to invite him to their doubles camp. Maybe not.
He did the hard part, he did the poach well, and then he just took his eye off the ball.
Good quick serve by Simon, taking advantage of the server's pace rule, but then the one serve rule comes back to bite him pretty hard. 178, 154, Tampa on the near side. Nori smiles, serving for it. Great reflexes. Trey Mallory, his teammate at the net. Quick communication. You don't have a lot of time. 14 seconds in between points. Oh, Mr. Touch with that little angle slice.
That's an absurd slice, and I've actually thought that the returners have gotten more out of it when they've hit the ball big to the server instead of the player at the net who's been reflexing really well. But that was an absurd shot by Nori right there.
He's just feeling it right now. They got to find a way to stay away from him. That's not a good way to stay away from them. 35 seconds left in this men's doubles portion. Women's doubles will be coming up next. We're going to have about another 2 points right here. Nori just knows where every ball is going to be. With the lob. Smart play, actually. Unbelievable point and movement by Nori, and Tampa's going to let that clock roll down. I thought that was a pretty smart play by Simon. There's 99% chance he was not going to win that point. Just make it a +1 as opposed to a +2 for Tampa.
And the 1-2
Jonathan, what a start for Nori again.
Yeah, great energy from both teams. I actually thought super high level. For me, the story of that vault was the aggressive returns, right? Everyone was taking the ball vividly, ripping the ball, sometimes the server, sometimes the net player. But there were a lot of two-pointers that came off the return and kind of those coaching fouls.
Man, that was some fast action play. Let's see, we're going to take it down to Luke, who's got the hammer himself, the coach of the challenge team.
The hammer is in the house. You got your team back into it. The girls were great. Now women's doubles.
Yeah, look, Robin and Dee are really solid. They play actually a lot together, so hopefully we can make a run here and start making a little bit of a comeback and digging into this lead here. They played really great there at Tampa in the men's doubles there. Had some good movement at the net. It was fun to watch, so hopefully we can cut into this lead a little bit.
Nice team chemistry. How do you take a bunch of misfit toys and bring them all together?
Look, a lot of the team, they play on college teams, so they're used to the team atmosphere. We have another Canuck like myself, so kind of camaraderie is kind of natural, so it's fun to be here and being a part of this, and I feel honored to be coaching this team. They're putting everything out there right now. Hopefully we can make a little bit of a comeback here and make it close, see what happens. Anything can happen. I've seen bigger leads go away in Intense, so let's see what happens.
You would never see good chemistry at Florida State.
I know, John Eves, that's why he didn't want me to come there. He was afraid I was going to make it too good at chemistry at Florida State. Go Gators.
Go. This next vault, women's doubles next.
Well, you all know we're supposed to stay neutral over here. Let's go Team Tampa. Sorry, Jesse. Let's go Team Tampa after those comments. That was brutal. Wow. Right after me. We'll see how these women's are going to do in this doubles match coming up. Hopefully they're a lot nicer than that. And here we are about to get things started in the doubles. We have Delaney Hewitt, Robin Anderson, far side from challenge team. See if they can close this gap. Kate Sharborough, Alessandra Crump on the near side. Kate's gonna serve things off. Jonathan, $10 she goes kick wide here.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, honestly, as a returner, we got to get both feet in the alley here. That kicker's been great for her, and I wouldn't want her hitting too many volleys. She looks really comfortable with that.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a 10-minute bolt here. Second of 3. Mixed doubles will be coming up after this. Sebastian Nunez, our referee at the net there, organizing everything. And here we go. Come on, kick wide. $10, Jonathan. Give it to me.
I'd rather not, but you earned it.
You can send me, $10 worth of Bitcoin. Delaney Hewitt serving on the far side for the challenge team. Alessandra Crump almost hitting her partner in the back of the head off that misframe.
Look, serves and returns. I mean, this is nothing new. This is still the game of tennis. We got to get that serve in play, that return in play, and then work up from there.
That was a lot of craziness, weird bounces, great defense. Unfortunate overhead miss by Delana right there. Great scrapping out by the Tampa team. Alessandra Crump serving. Great serve out wide to the forehand right there. Oh, she went for it. Clean shot, just missed the +2.
And look, challenge team, what do we got here? 25-point deficit. I mean, we got to start poaching. We got to get in the middle.
Oh, there's your movement right there, Stokey.
Yeah, exactly. Tampa hurt me. I mean, amazing hands from Crump there, but whoever's in the middle hitting more volleys is going to have the chance for 2-pointers that can really swing this match where it's either over or it starts getting super close.
Alessandra definitely heard you. She's trying to move. Quick hands.
Yes.
Good reflexes, but good finish by Delana, +2. Look at her calmness going back there, down by 25, but she's not in a rush. She's all good. She's got the rules down. You go back and you serve on the same spot if you hit a clean winner.
Yeah, I'd be serving to that Sharborough forehand. I think there's some free points there. Again, you don't want her hitting backhands. You don't want her hitting volleys. She's so great at both of those shots.
186, Tampa on the near side, 161. Challenge team on the far side. We are getting close to the point. The challenge team does need to make a big run pretty soon. But great reflexes by Kate. Even better defense by Robin. Tried to touch it, but didn't. The effort was there. +2 for challenge team. Robin Anderson getting her team going in the right direction there.
And again, if I'm these players, I mean, they're playing for big cash, right? And the overall match might slowly get out of hand here as the clock is dwindling. But the women won theirs, the men won theirs, and now we got this doubles that's completely up for grabs.
That's right. The players here are trying to win their individual categories. We got 3 matches going on, men's singles, women's singles, and then the doubles. So if you win your category, you also win prize money. So we got the team part, we got the individual matches, a lot going on.
That one bounced in front of the net, JY.
Yeah, it actually just stunned me. I just didn't know what to say. I was trying to find a good remark, and I just said, I'm just going to just not say anything right now.
It's a little bit of a shock to the system when you see that, but thank God it only counts for 1 point for the challenge team.
Hey, look at that positive mindset right there.
Exactly, man. It's all how you frame things. Now, I'm sensing, JY, I don't know if you're feeling it there. It sounds like there's a little bit of an energy dip right now from everyone. It sounds a little quieter to me. The players, I think this is a great opportunity for one team or the other to get very energetic and kind of steal a few points.
Yeah, it's about a 2.5-hour sprint, you know, with just the warm-ups, getting ready, being here, and then once the match starts, it's just totally non-stop. Tampa's gone a little quiet. Challenge team has a little bit of that sense of urgency on the sideline, but Kate and Alessandra, at least on the court, they're moving very well. But yes, it has gotten a little quiet. Look, this is intense. It is non-stop. Players are having to get used to this kind of fitness.
And I have seen matches in college swing. The 4 players who are on the sideline right now, they need to be going animal mode. Tons of noise, tons of energy. I mean, look, if you're not playing, you can use your energy to support your players. I'd like to see a little bit more of that. Unbelievable serve, by the way.
Yeah, Kate sends a return into the broadcast booth. Imagine if I actually did say something mean about that return that hit the ground first.
Danger zone for you.
Robin with the poach, unfortunately caught a little bit late and missed it, and same thing. Ever since the men's portion of this match, it's just been very close all around. Great moving by Kate. Gosh, you know, we saw them in the warm-up before this started. They were doing a lot of doubles movement, a lot of doubles warm-up. I was actually a little surprised. Well, that's why I'm in the sideline. Yelena's got the coaching hat on because she got her team ready for today with Nori Adam at the net, Kay Sharborough moving at the net. Alessandra so pumped up at the net, moving all around everywhere, having a big effect on the challenge team.
All right, here comes JY. Is this double or nothing? Kick out wide, serve and volley?
Does it count if she missed it?
It does not. I think I get my $10 back there.
What do you mean?
But again, I think if you start to take that return away...
Wait. No. Why do you get your money back? No. You were playing for 10. So you owe me 20.
That's true. I don't know the math on that. I'll give you 80 quarters in a jar of something disgusting when I show up in 2 weeks.
I'll take it. I'll take it. That's fine.
There you go.
De Souza, who's in for Alessandra Crump, now partnering with Kate Sharborough for the Tampa team on the near side. 4 minutes left in this women's doubles bolt. Mixed doubles is up next. Day comes back, forehand down the line winner. Looking for players to move, but it's also very important to go down the line and hold them from time to time. And she caught Delana trying to sneak in a poach there. Ooh, forehand right back at you.
I'm going to be interested to see how we use timeouts and possibly any substitutions moving forward. But with this being as close as it is, you don't really want to get into that 4, 5, 6 point deficit. It's been kind of close the entire time through the first bolt and the second bolt. I'll be curious to see how the coaches use the timeouts here.
3 minutes left. Another point for the fans. Screaming at the right time. Great move by the yellow jacket right there. Sharborough with a +2. You go back, you serve on the same side. She's firing up her team there. that right there, Jonathan, that's the investment of going for that return down the line. Day's return went straight down the middle, but Elena now had to respect that return down the line, and the ball went middle, but it went deep, forced the error. 48-44, Tampa in the doubles portion of this match. 201, 175, 26-point lead. We got to see challenge team step it up right now. It's not over, but they got to make a run right there.
Yeah, this is it's getting this particular bolt starting to get out of hand, and the overall match getting out of hand. And what you were saying earlier about respecting that line in the middle, that's lingering effects of smart tennis, and I've been very, very impressed with Tampa's doubles.
Scar tissue, you got to build that scar tissue in your opponents.
Love that.
Great move by Day. Oh no, she had it. Oh no. Wow.
I gotta be honest, I'm not sure how we didn't get 2 points on that one with an overhead right on the net.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they'll take the +1, but sometimes things happen so fast for you at the net, you just kind of can't even react. Fortunately, she got away with it. Big backhand there. Just got to find a way to get to Kate's forehand, because that backhand is just a rocket ship.
Yeah, maybe a lob across court there, but once that rally went down the line, I kind of knew they were in trouble.
Big overhead, great reflexes. Robin Anderson stepping up for her team. What defense by Kate! Oh my gosh! Falling backwards, back to the net, drops it at her feet. She's on fire. I said it after she missed it, so it's not a +1 for the push-up count for me. I held that nicely.
That's questionable accounting by you, but I'll let you off the hook.
A little confusion over here. It looks like Robin might have served on the wrong side. Clock's ticking down. We're gonna take a look to make sure everything's on par right there. Kate flying around, Jonathan. MVP of the day. You know, Nori had an unbelievable start. It's tough between Nori and Kate.
You ready?
Can we have co-MVPs?
That's for you to decide, but yeah, they've been standout players. Obviously, Nori came out and set the tone early. I've been so impressed with Kate's variety. Look at that move. Even though she missed it, the net play has been awesome. Mixing in slices, the power backhand, the kick serve and volley. Kind of been controlling the women's portion of the matches.
I just think I'm honored that you said I get to choose who the MVPs are. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm just making up rules over here from my house in Charleston right now. I don't know if you can do it.
What happened now?
Challengers had a ball in their hand, I think I heard.
They had a ball in their hands, and so you cannot have balls in your pocket right there. What a finish. That was a lot of back and forth right there. That is the end of the women's doubles bolt. We only have the mixed doubles coming up, but Jonathan, Tampa is maintaining a decent sized lead as we get into this last bolt.
Yeah, it's going to be super close coming into mix. I thought the reflex volleys and the way all 4 ladies were kind of covering the middle of the court was very impressive. Nice exchanges, a couple 2-pointers early. Honestly, well played by all 4. But again, I kind of feel like Kate being in the middle and moving a lot was kind of the difference in the end.
Big difference in the end right there. Let's send it down to Luke Jensen, who has Kate and Day right there.
Yeah, this women's doubles team was dynamite. Kate the Great, you're going for the MVP award. Big shots, big serves. What was the difference in the women's doubles?
I think it was taking over the net. Like, whoever was in control of the net usually had more winners and just more points won, I would say.
Day, you are an energy, awesome queen out there. Your team's lifted up.
Yeah, it's the energy. We have to obviously keep it intense and then try to read each other as much as possible, and up the middle solves the riddle.
And finally, mixed doubles. What's the plan?
I think just keep doing what we're doing. Stay solid, stay on top of the net, and keep the energy up.
Hit winners, winners. We come back, the final bolts. Mixed doubles, get ready.
They're fired up, Jonathan. Jay says down the middle solves the riddle, so even though they go line, they're still looking middle overall as we have the final bolt, not just of this doubles portion, but of the overall duel on the far side. Mr. Owl with the microwave for the challenge team.
A cruising altitude of FUN. That's fun. Take off your seatbelts and do the woozy.
There's Mr. Owl himself serving to Sam Frizzell. Kate Shobura continues to play, and why not? She is on fire. She wants the MVP award. Let's see if she can finish things off.
I'd love to see Scarlett start a little closer to that center here, especially off this quality serve. See if she can pick off a few more volleys. Not if she's going to volley like that, but in general, I'd like her to be in the middle a little bit more.
Yeah, great return by Sam to just jam her in that right hip, really tough. And we see overall 208, 181. Kate with another +2, racking them up today. Tampa 57-50 in the doubles portion. So remember, they're playing for their individual categories for prize money, and then the overall cumulative score for the team, 210, 182. This is it, Jonathan. It's now or never for the challenge team.
Very close. Again, 7 points here. We're going to see a lot of winners coming down the stretch, but these missed serves and missed returns, they're going to add up. Like I said, death. Yeah, just wide there, but it's going to be death by 1,000 paper cuts. So both teams need to lock it down. Put that serve in the body, put the return in the court.
I think this is where you can sense the scoreboard pressure. Simon going a little big on that serve, as you've seen a lot of faults back and forth. Tampa has a nice cushion until that +2. Leg court going over, big benefit to them. They're going to take all of that right there as we take a look at our sponsors. Cherna Grip on the bottom right of your screen. Solinco helping us with rackets, strings, everything. Emory Sports Medicine taking care of the players. Grateful for everybody's sports. The Cab Body Armor, our newest ones. There we go. You know, Jonathan, that body armor is a big one for me because, so you know how they say how players got to hydrate for your competition, right? Well, I do the opposite. I dehydrate during the day, and then I hydrate during the match. I think you understand why, and now I'm grateful to have body armor water to help me get through this match.
Absolutely hilarious. I don't know how you hold it that long, JY, but it's impressive.
Dehydrate.
I hope there are no medical professionals listening to that advice.
We got Emory Sports Medicine. They are ready to take care not just of our team, but me. I am not concerned. Seven minutes left in this overall duel. 214, 188. Simon Pritchard, Mr. Owl serving with Scarlett Nicholson on the near side. Sam Frizzell for Tampa trying to close the net. Unfortunately, hit it into the net. Partner Kate Shirobura, let's see if she can rip that backhand. Almost found it down the line. Challenge seems not bad, but still 7 minutes. This is going to be close. Not a lot of room for error.
We're down to two. Kate's missed a couple backhand returns in a row. She's actually struggling to touch right now. Yeah, it's a great timeout right there.
All day, Yelena's had great coaching moves, great timeout.
Timeout, Tampa, 1 minute.
Go in after. Okay, it doesn't matter. The only goal is like keep maintaining the score and then go back to the volley, whatever. It's just gonna go straight to you, and you that's really close. But on the backhand return, same thing. If you want to step back more, go for it, and then play higher, whatever, because you're taking behind. So either like you step back more, then you go 3 steps forward, and you go strong to the girl in the net. Okay, go strong like middle, go strong middle, kind of. So then if you lose, okay, so you guys keep going. Come on. And keep Sam, be aggressive, keep going. Go more to the girl as well. Don't be nice.
Don't be nice. Motto of the day, Jonathan. A little different than the one we discussed in our pre-show.
I also love the advice she gave on standing a little deeper behind the baseline for the return so Kate could step in. But yeah, that might be on my next t-shirt. Don't be nice. That's a great way to play tennis.
And there you see some of the coaching as well. Returns to the net player specifically Scarlett, and we see 2 back on. I love this. Love this. See, I love that. Love that. And when you only have 1 serve, it is very hard for you at the net to feel like you can have an impact. You almost feel like you're on an island defending yourself. You go back there, you have no problem. Look at this, up and back, great movement, great decision, great teamwork for Team Tampa. 217-192, only 6 minutes left. Going back right there. You know how when you win points at the net, it's Stokey style? Well, this is JY style.
Well, I think we've officially upgraded from checkers to chess with the coaches here, because now you're seeing these different formations. The doubles portion is only a 4-point spread, and you can see them moving players around now to create a little chaos and stress, and it's actually working very, very well.
Look at that movement, Sam Frizzell. Hello.
And I got to give Yelena a lot of credit for that timeout. Things were going against them. She stopped the bleeding, and now they got a 6-point lead coming out of that timeout.
Luke, Tampa's looking good.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we got the MVP. You was fantastic. That forehand, you may need to work on the pace a little bit. You're holding back.
I'm just trying. I'm just having fun on the court. That's the main thing. Whenever you step in, you're having fun. But I know the team got my back as well. So it's extra motive to go for even more. And it's just it's great. Whenever you're having fun and people got your back, it just makes the work a lot more easier. So yeah, there you go. Let's go. Yeah, sorry.
Last week you're having fun. Now you're winning. Tell us the difference in this team, because there's so much more energy.
Yeah, it was a rough start. The other team played pretty solid. They came in. Sam played really great, just solid making balls. And then me, I was trying to go forward a lot more. And then I went on a big, just unforced error. Just was going for a lot. And then we went down 20 points. And then so it's tough for my teammates whenever they come in. So I made it harder for them. So I take full responsibility on that. So I was kind of all week, I was I got to do better. I got to do better. I got to do better. So whenever I started, I was okay, now it's time. Here we go. So I stepped in, started finding my pace a little slow, not a lot of mistakes, making a lot of balls. And then whenever I get a chance, I go for it. And then without realizing, I find myself on a lead, 10-point lead. Then whoever is coming after me is a little bit more comfortable. So there's not a lot of pressure. And then he gets carried, and then he gave us even a bigger lead. And then so it's all about the start. You got to have a solid start, so that if the person after you can carry that weight to the finish line, which they're doing a great job at. Everybody, every single one of my teammates, on the court, off the court, they're being energetic, they're being supportive on every point. So that's what you need. That's what the league about. It's amazing, and I love every part of it. The winning, the losing. I'm having fun regardless. So.
Also, intense tennis fans around the world want to see more tweeners, more trick shots from you. If you get in, we want trick shots.
I got one. I was put in a position to hit one. I wasn't planning on hitting it, but I was put in a position, and then I was okay, this is what came in my mind. So I was okay, let me just do that, and thank God it worked. So yeah.
Stay focused. Stay focused.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Back to you guys.
Well, Kate's focus right there, tagging the men's Georgia Tech player over there. I'm sure she's going to love that one. Big backhand right at him. It looks like this lead is just going to be a little bit too far. Geez, Kate has just been dominating at the net. Very cool to hear Nori take the responsibility last week for their performance, because he can definitely take responsibility for this week's victory, helping them get off to a big lead.
See Kate there taking a little bit of that advice. She took a little more time in that return. Backhand return has gotten much more solid since that timeout. So credit to Coach Elena for that one.
So even though we have 2 minutes left overall, and Tampa will win this duel in the doubles, I'm looking at the score here. They only have a 7-point lead, and remember that the players are playing for prize money within each category, so they're also going to try to double up here and also knock this doubles portion down and take all the prize money today.
Now, Jay-Way, I know you said you like spreadsheets, but I'm doing math in my head here.
So just give it half. Every point. Get ready, guys. We're going to sub quick now the last minute and a half.
And there you see for the last minute and a half, bottom of your screen. Don't forget to tune in tonight.
Robin's going first.
You'll get to see more of Jesse, but in the booth as Jacksonville takes on our host Atlanta. Last minute and 20 seconds of this match. Tampa will be taking this victory.
That is so smooth. Jesse going with the chaos substitution pattern here. And it worked.
It did work. Just trying to confuse everybody, confuse himself, confused us, but more importantly, got the +1. Simon going for the big serve, might as well, even though the dual match is out of reach. The doubles portion is not. +2 could have had a big effect there, but 35 seconds left. I think Tampa's going to be able to run the clock out on all of this. San Frazell serves it there. Great touch to save the +2.
All credit to Tampa here. Great doubles. This 9-point lead, they can kind of coast on home here, but well earned.
They see the chaos substitution method again. And it worked again. Should have done that earlier.
We should call that substitution pattern the Levine moving forward.
The Levine, we got the Stokey way, the JY way, and the Levine way. Unfortunately, he figured that out too late. Tampa is going to take the victory today, their first one of the season, 235 to 204. What a day, Jonathan.
Yeah, awesome level, much better than last week. I thought the energy from both teams was really solid. At the end of the day, I felt like Tampa made a few less serve mistakes, and then particularly in this doubles portion, they were just a little bit more offensive. They were covering the middle of the court a little better. They had forward momentum. You saw a couple of these change-up formations that worked pretty well. But great level overall, and honestly, Tampa won. I don't think the challenge team lost.
Yeah, I agree with that. And let's speak with the winning coach, Yelena and Luke.
Yeah, Coach Elena, what a difference from last week to this week. What was the difference in this match?
They wake up. They wake up. I mean, honestly, they play amazing. All the team was all bumped, no like looking down, whatever, all the time trying to push for themselves and also pushing for the team. I think it was a big difference. The attitude was a big difference.
Well, I thought the challenge team came after you, especially after women's bolts. What was the response in the huddle going into the final mixed double?
We said doesn't matter the score, they gotta be focused, they gotta start again like on the score, don't thinking no matter the score, they gotta be. I mean, at some point I called a timeout and I told them like she has to go back whenever the guy is returning, because the matter was to make the most point, and then they won like I think 8 points in a row after that call, just because following the rules, and the other one were pretty much lost I think of what they were doing. So yeah, that's I think that works.
What makes intense tennis awesome?
Fight of screaming, actually. Like also you can also make the other one lose her serve just by screaming a moment, or the other guy played a really good match as well, saying like no, wrong side, and then my player actually didn't toss the ball and then lose the point. So I was like, don't listen to them, but that's part of the game. That's fun.
Go enjoy your team, enjoy the victory. What a match. Back to you guys. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was all smiles from Coach Yelena for Tampa as she helps lead their team to victory. Look at this summary right here. The men's portion right there, we talked about it in the pre-surge show. Will one of these Tampa men shine bright and be the alpha? Nori did that, helping them get off to a very good start. And then from there, it was just too tight. You know, the team just needed to play consistent, play solid, and they never had any big runs against them. And that women's portion of the match, sure, they lost it, but it was only by 1, so they maintained a big lead as they got into the doubles portion. And we knew, Jonathan, that the +2s could make a big difference, but it turns out that Kate Sharabura had different plans, and she has a good argument for today's MVP. What do you think, Jonathan?
Yeah, I honestly thought she was overall the difference maker. She was absolutely fantastic. And again, for me, I thought everyone looked a little bit more comfortable, but early on, it was a few serves and returns, and you see that when people get in a hole, that it's very tough to dig out. And so that's something I'm going to pay attention to when I come there. is I don't want to get down by 15 or 20 because I realize how hard that is to come back, and scoreboard pressure is real.
Yeah, big scoreboard pressure, but a lot of pressure off the captain's shoulders. Nori Smiles, did not perform well last week. We were wondering what was going to happen. He's got that big forehand, the big energy that's why Team Tampa drafted him. They wanted him to be the leader of that team because he has that firepower. It didn't show up last week. But this week, it wasn't the firepower that really got him going. It was actually calmness within himself, right?
Yeah, it's almost like you can learn and improve week to week if you're willing to kind of grow. And it sounds like last week he struggled a little bit. And it only took him 1 week to fix that. And that's awesome to see as a coach and as a player.
Yeah, just great coaching by Yelena to prepare her team. That was amazing. Jonathan, you were amazing. Thank you for joining us for today's match. We're going to see you here next week where we're going to get to criticize all of your coaching. And tonight, we're going to come back at 6:30 p.m. with our pre-surge show. 7 p.m., Jacksonville takes on the host team, Atlanta. So come back, join us then. But for now, thank you, and see you later.